and I will take some percentage of that. Hopefully a good percentage when I get partner. This is maybe another affiliate. Hopefully in a few months' time we'll look back and be like, haha, remember when you said you weren't partner in that Twitch intro? Okay, I filled 3 minutes of dead time. Hang on. That might have been my hand, that might have been someone else's hand. I guess you'll just never know. Stop it. So yeah, I kind of like my intros to be about 10 minutes long. Because sometimes I take 10 minutes to get set up. I'll load up OBS and something will be broken. What else? What else? I upload once a week to Channel Fireball's YouTube channel. The comment section are mean there. I have Dies to Removal, a podcast. Just Google Dies to Removal. Check out the Tolarian Community College's YouTube channel. Where me and the professor shoot the shit with regards to magic. Twitch. This is Twitch. Twitter. Twitter's good. I'm very active on Twitter. It's a good way to get hold of me, to ask me questions, to engage with me. Go follow me over there as well. Instagram's pretty good. I post pictures of my dog. I post pictures of me. I've realised my fans have been on this whole time. I hope that's not made a lot of noise. Bollocks. I guess I'll turn that off now. Ah, fuck. But yeah, Instagram. Picture of my dog. Picture of me. Picture of food. Magic cards. It's pretty good. I enjoy Instagram. You get to make artsy-fartsy photos and stuff. Some of mine are artsy-fartsy. Some of them are... Actually, the majority of them are just like spare the moment thing. Yeah. Birds. Yeah, so jazz. I like jazz, right? Everyone like jazz? This one's more smooth jazz. Oh, man, this is so itchy right now. Fuck. Thanks, Bob Ross. Yeah, just gonna hang out here for a little bit. Doo boop ba doo. Yeah. Jazz. Jazz. If this comes out really well, I'm gonna be upset that you only see it for the first 10 minutes of a stream. 10 or so minutes. I'll probably make it only 7. 7 minutes of me fucking about. I could just like play some like an image of a seaside here now, couldn't I? Like this. And I'm back. Bob Ross with a seaside for a face is pretty weird. If you like this, can we get some capital letter hype in the chat, please? Right now. At the end of the stream, we shall be raiding someone else. Normally raiding down someone with a smaller viewership than us. To share their love. Sometimes up if we want to, you know, network. But, yeah, so we're going to raid someone. So if I say that the stream's coming to an end, it's our last game, I'm about to go, please don't fucking log off. Stick around, okay? It hurts my pride when we raid with only like half the percentage of the people. Yeah, half the percentage? 50% of the people that were actually in here originally. It hurts my pride. So don't do that. Oh, chat rules. Be nice to one another. Don't be a dick. That's kind of it, really. Oh, there's a donation button down below. You can give bits as well if you want to support. Sharing my videos is a great way of supporting the channel. Like, if you have friends you think will enjoy my videos, fucking show them to them. Anyway, I guess with only a few more seconds to go, we should play some magic. So welcome to PleasantKenobi's Wonder Emporium, the punt shunt. That's not even a term. The joy of punting. Welcome. Welcome. This is the pre-stream bit. I'm not live yet, but I will be shortly. I'm Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet, and welcome to the joy of punting. Yes, this is my stream. I will make some mistakes. That bit is absolutely going to happen. But as long as you're here along the way for these happy little mistakes, that's what I like to call punts, happy little mistakes, well, it's worth it then. Yes, Mr. Blastoise, that is 14 minutes of dead time, you fucking shit. Yeah, I see you. Forever, I can always see you. Okay, we looped. I was late. I was having churros with my wife. I was getting shouted out on Twitter. Just a normal fucking Monday evening. Hello, everybody. How's it going? I don't actually have churros every Monday. Rob, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you, Vince. How are you? How are your churros?
They're pretty good. They're... Babe, are they Aldi? Yeah, they're Aldi. They're Aldi. So if Aldi's watching this, if Mr. Aldi is watching this, fucking give me a sponsorship for churros, buddy. I fucking love Aldi, Bob. I really do. I swear by Aldi.
So does my elder sister. She swears by it as well. We don't have one near us, but
Do you not? Where do you shop?
Sainsbury's.
Sainsbury's, Rob? Are you made of money? No, I'm kidding. I just feel like Sainsbury's is it's the same stuff as Tesco and Asda, but just dearer.
Yeah.
That's my experience anyway. Is it your closest, is it?
Yes, it is, yeah. And my closest, it's like 5 seconds down the road. I'm really very close to it. So.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I'm spoilt for choice where I am. Megatrove, I would never be sponsored by Aldi. I'm a BMW man myself. That's such a fucking... Oh, it's a horrible thing to say out loud. I sound like such a twat. We watched the Mission Impossible movies recently. Bob. I say we. I watched all of them and my wife joined me for like the last 2.
Oh, the good ones, yeah.
Yeah. So the first one's amazing. The second one is...
The first one, okay. The second one is... I like the second one.
The second one's an anomaly.
It's so weird.
It's so 2002. It's unreal.
It is. Like if you're like going 1-on-1 battling somebody on motorbikes, like it's gotta be good, right?
It's like they hired John Woo but then didn't give him full creative control. So it's just like it's like the worst bits of John Woo. Like
Sony presents John Woo.
Because apparently Tom Cruise like produces all of them, so he gets to like just say and do whatever he wants. Like so when I found out that he produces them all and has like creative control and stuff, it made them funnier because every time Ethan Hunt does like amazing things, just like it's just Tom Cruise wanking himself off, which makes it funnier. Like no, Sushi. I think he produced like from the first one onwards because he'd already made like a shit ton of money out of like Top Gun and stuff. Like I think that was the point. Like Mission Impossible 1 was the point where he got very, very rich, according to at least Mr. Sunday Movies, a YouTuber that I watch. Who's currently going through them. But yeah, it's just fucking crazy. All of them have got like a Tom Cruise production at the beginning, but then again, it could be that I'm watching like a re-edit from later down the line where they've stuck that at the beginning or something. Perhaps I don't know. But I watched the first 3 in a row, Rob, on a flight to Reno. And I like the movies a lot. I think they're a lot of fun. I think I like them more than Bond movies.
I like them more than Bond movies when you're in the right mood for them. Like,
yeah.
Because they're so good if you want just like popcorn.
They're so dumb. They're so dumb. But I think I'm going to go back and rewatch all the Daniel Craig Bond movies now to try and figure out which I prefer. Mm-hmm. Like, because Casino Royale I haven't seen it for years, but I loved it. And then Quantum of Solace was so bad that it kind of just killed my joy for Bond.
Quantum of Solace won an Academy Award.
Quantum of Solace won an award? No, it did. Are you sure?
It did. It absolutely did. We did it on our family pub quiz a couple of weeks ago.
How?
It blew my mind.
All I remember seeing it in the cinema and feeling like it was really low budget. Like for a Bond movie, I mean. Like the whole thing is just filmed in a desert lot.
They made it during the writer's strike, so like they only had like 1/3 of a script. So they had to like cobble everything together, which is why like all the scene transitions are so bad. Like it doesn't feel, because it feels like bits of other Bond movies.
It felt bad. Yeah, it felt definitely bad. Like, oh, that is the one with stealing water as Rock Ansel. Oh, thank you for the sub as well, Shardfire, for giving it to MDG Tengu. Hello, Tengu, for lurking, my friend, and thanks for the sub from Ermagurden. Welcome back, my friend. That is the Bond movie with the water stealing, isn't it?
Yes.
Which at the time, a young me, I guess that movie's like 10 years old now, isn't it? I was like, this is stupid. But now I know like actually water is one of the most precious resources on the planet and we're running out of it. And it actually makes a lot more sense. So that film was years ahead of its time. More ahead of its time than the Pierce Brosnan one where the guy tries to steal the news.
Yes.
Well, is it Data from Star Trek tries to steal the news? Is that it?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that for a long time either.
Yeah, that is Tomorrow Never Dies, I believe.
Yeah, because tomorrow is the news and it never dies, right? Doesn't he literally say tomorrow never dies at one point, the villain? He's like, Mr. Bond, tomorrow never dies. I don't know if he does, I just remember him saying that. But I don't think I'd ever go back and rewatch the Pierce Brosnan ones, because they're all just really bad. Like,
I've got the whole of GoldenEye etched into my brain.
Yeah, same here. Like, I could probably tell you scene for scene, almost line for line GoldenEye, because as a kid I was like, oh, the N64 game's so good, I'm just going to rewatch this movie a million times. But yeah, the rest of them are just fucking shit. And then yeah, so I'm going to rewatch the Daniel Craig ones, and then I'll have an official stance on whether I prefer Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt, who's it's just basically American James Bond, but with not even pretending to be sophisticated.
It's just Tom Cruise. Like, it's not even Ethan Hunt. This is Tom Cruise. How Tom Cruise would like to be if he could do this.
Have you seen the latest one, Fallout?
Fallout. Yeah, I think we did. Hang on one sec. Catherine, did we see Fallout? The Mission Impossible. Yeah, we're at the Himalayas at the end. Yeah.
Okay. So without doing spoilers for chat, in case anyone still wants to see it, although to be honest, let's be honest, the plot is not important. But there's two bits that are amazing. Obviously, John's already mentioned Henry Cavill's reloading of his arms. Although that said, that bit is hyped up in the trailer so much that when I got around to watching it, I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to this fight scene, and it was over in a blink. Like
it was 2 seconds of toilet fighting.
Yeah, but it was good. Don't get me wrong. Like it was like raid levels of like brutality as they're smashing through walls and shit, which was cool. But it was over way too quickly. And the other bit that's great is at the very beginning when they do a build up about a minute and a half before you see Ethan come on screen. And they're like, oh, where is he? Oh, he's never late. Where is he? And you're like, okay, he's going to do something crazy to get on this plane. And then he just scrambles to the top of a verge with the camera doing like an upward shot towards him. And it's just so frantic and funny. Oh my God, it's so good. It's like, woo, it's Tom Cruise. He runs out like a fox. Oh, I love it. I fucking love it.
That one, I think it's that one that's written by, that one's written by Simon Pegg. I think it's that one or it's the one before. One of those two is written by Simon Pegg, and the laughs are very obvious. Like the visual comedies feels.
Oh, when he's in the office and he's like giving the look, he's about to throw a chair out the window.
Yeah.
Thanks for the sub, Sneaky Diesel. The other thing about the Mission Impossible, before we'll move on to playing Magic in a moment, chat. I know we haven't played Magic in a while, but we are going to be playing this. Oh no, my stream broken. No, we're going to be playing this deck. My stream has gone weird because it's resized. Oh, I have to resize the box. Right, anyway,
impressing the heck out of me.
Mission Impossible's continuity, right? It tries to act like it's got a continuity that anyone gives a shit about, because no one does, because the storyline's not important.
Oh yeah, like with his wife and his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, but fucking hell, like every movie, people just die off screen or never come back, like, all the time. So at the point in the third one, the fourth one. No, the fourth one, when they're like, oh, his wife was... This is a minor spoiler, chat. His wife was killed. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I literally don't care. Because no one comes back. All the women, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff is like, most of the women actors have said that Tom Cruise was so intense they never wanted to come back. So every female lead, barring the last two where she did come back, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do another one. That's so that they all just disappear off screen, never get mentioned again, or die off screen. So, have I still seen Tenet? I have not seen Tenet yet. I did not go to the... I'm not keen on going to the cinema just yet.
I'm not going to the cinema for the sake of Chris Nolan. Like,
yeah, or
Inception.
Hang on, what about the British cinema industry? Goddammit!
They'll be fine without me.
You do know that Cineworld closed down, right?
I do, yeah.
They'll be fine, apart from that company that's temporarily closed down.
I did the Winner's Triangle. We've got a showcase. It's fine.
Thanks to the subs, Drew Haxton and Hawk4000. Welcome back. Sushi's got a point. I actually really like Mission Impossible movies. I always liked the first one, thought the second one was funny. And then as I've watched them, I've like fell in love with them a little bit. And I love how cliche they are. That every movie the IMF gets disbanded or like disavowed or in as you said,
they all go rogue.
It's time to go rogue. I'm looking forward to the next one where like Simon Pegg's character's like, again, we always do it. Ethan, we always like it's getting to the point of power. It's almost like it's self-referential, but I'm not quite sure if it's quite there. Tom Cruise,
and be like they'll do like in Mission Impossible Civil War, and they'll be like, these are the IMF Accords. You either be official and wear a badge and a uniform, or you have to stay off forever.
So apparently that was one of the things that Sunday Movies mentioned. Was that there's talk of how there's other rumours in the rumour mill that they're bringing like characters back from the old movies, as if anyone gives a fuck.
Who's seen the third one? Like really, like
the third one's actually really good.
The third one's terrible.
What?
The third one is like it's so bad. Like it's a fever dream of like crazy action.
It's so good.
Anything that happens in that movie besides a helicopter.
There's
kill them.
So what's his fucking name? Not Hoffman. Who's the Dustin Hoffman? No. Fuck. He's the guy who played the Master in the He plays Elron Hubbard in the Master. Someone in chat will know. Oh, what the fuck is his name? Come on, I'm just going to sit here and look at chat until someone figures it out. And what about the villain from the third Mission Impossible movie? Just wait patiently. No, no one's getting it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Philip Dustin Hoffman. Is that it? Ow, I just fucking punted my Dustin...
Seymour. Philip
Seymour. Dustin Hoffman. That was funny. Yeah, there you go. Philip Seymour Hoffman. I believe he is no longer with us, so rest in peace. He's really good in that movie as the villain. I really liked him. And there's a really good scene where, like, spoilers for anyone who gives a shit about the storyline of Mission Impossible 3, which no one does, but where, like, Ethan is dead and his wife's got to, like, resuscitate him but also hold a gun so she doesn't get shot by the secondary villain thing. That scene was great! And then he gets shocked, he's like, oh, time to go running, and he, like, runs off and does a whole running scene, which, again, is, as Staxy pointed out, is a hallmark of a Mission Impossible movie. If Tom Cruise doesn't run full pelt with, like, a panning shot from a helicopter, it's not a real Mission Impossible movie. God.
That's the bar.
And also the third movie's also got that fucking sick, when he gets shot by the... This is how... When you say it out loud, when no one's seen him, when he gets shot by the Harrier jump jet, and flies sideways and hits that car, which is like a real stunt, because he also has real stunts, right? Because the third one has no big stunt, if I remember correctly. That's the one without an actual big stunt, because even the jump was done on, like, green screen. But him getting pulled into that car was a real, like, just...
Yeah, I remember seeing the filming of that, and it looks horrendous for the way how sharply they tug him over to
yeah, because they do it on like a pneumatic pole thing. But Sushi, if you go just check out, if you love movies, right? You're doing film at uni, like Mr. Sunday Movies is probably my favourite like film YouTuber. They do a thing called Caravan of Garbage where they just go through movies, good and bad, and talk about them. And they do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and they talk a lot about budgets and what things did well and shit. They do the behind the scenes bit on the third one, and the jump that he does in the third one, because it's always one big jump and normally a big fall, is done on a green screen. So it's nowhere near as exciting or interesting as all the other stunts that are real. Because I think Steph wasn't really keen. She thought these films looked fucking awful. And then she was like mildly keen on Henry Cavill being in one of them. And then mildly keen when I said, oh, by the way, whenever you can see Tom Cruise's face, that's literally him doing the stunt. She's like, no, he can't be. And then we're watching like bits where he's on the motorbike and you can tell when it goes from stunt double to him because it's like the camera's in his face, his hair's flopping on either side of his face because they're making sure you can tell it's him. Oh, it's so good. Mr. Sunday Movies, Sushi, is great. Right, Red Letter Media is okay for film criticism, John. I find Red Letter Media to be just so unbelievably pessimistic about everything that sometimes I need to like switch off from that sort of thing. So yeah, but it's still pretty good. Right, anyway, so yeah, I've been enjoying a bit of the old Cruise, the Cruiser-palooza. My stream is still doing that thing where it's not rendering my... Nope. Sorry for the black screen, chat, and thank you for the hype level 1. Why is it... Chat, you all saw it a moment ago. When I pressed the button, we saw the screen, right? I pressed the button again, and now it's got a black square.
Impressing the heck out of me.
Glad to catch your stream.
It's been a while since it's fucked itself, Rob, so it had to do it. There we go. And thank you for the sub, Dragon Speaker. Hello. Right, everybody. Give some time for people to get in here. Here we go. This is Modern Death and Taxes.
Oh, it's been a while.
Somehow I'm missing a card. What am I missing? Is it one copy of Path to Exile? Yep, it's always one copy of Path to Exile, every time.
So, 4 Path to Exiles there. And then our sideboard, is our sideboard good for the current Modern meta, or is it...
Apparently so. This deck is one of the most popular decks in the format right now. Like,
okay, cool.
D&T is doing well in both Modern and Legacy. It's crazy. What a time to be alive. Okay, so we're on the normal D&T shit. So we've got... So everyone at home. I actually was going to cut a Thalia, but I didn't because I forgot. Never mind. Right, 4 Thalia. Maybe we'll cut one now. We'll talk about it. 4 Thalia, 4 Leonin Arbiter, 4 Path to Exile, 4 Giver of Runes, 4 Eighth of Isles. So that is like the core of the deck that you expect. A Mother of Runes stand-in for Modern, 4 Thalias to fuck with people's spells, and 4 Arbiter to fuck with their fetching. Then the other core component of the deck, of course, is Flicker Wisp. We've got 4 Flicker Wisp because it just does everything. I don't think I need to explain how many things it actually does, but it does literally everything, chat. Everything. Right.
Yeah, I think if you throw a rock at Vince's content, you'll hit Flicker Wisp. So if you need more information, go check somewhere else.
It's just beautiful. I should do some videos just talking about like the top 28 things you can do with a Flicker Wisp. God, I fucking love it. So then we've got Stoneforge Mystic, which is obviously the card that got unbanned. It's a bit of a non-bow with Arbiter, but normally you can sequence in a way where it doesn't hurt.
Have you sort of come to terms with that? Because I remember there was a time where you were very much anti it as a strategy. But
so my theory always was...
come around.
So my theory always was that if Stoneforge Mystic got unbanned, it would hardly affect the format, but if it did, there would basically just be some sort of Stoneblade deck. But when I say Stoneblade, chat, what I mean by Stoneblade is there's 3 equipments, John. You're missing out... John, we'll get to the tech in a moment. There'll be a Stone Blade deck, which was like a control deck, like a blue-white control deck, or even a tempo deck that would play Stoneforge better than we would, and then we'd be stuck number-ing a little bit. Turned out there is no Stone Blade deck, so if you want to play a Stoneforge Mystic deck in Modern, this is the best deck to do it. And like I said, it's kind of similar to when I played Coco with Thalia. The big downside of Coco is that sometimes you just don't hit any creatures. That's the big downside. I still hold that casting Coco for 5 mana when you've got Dorks to your deck, or letting Thalia die then casting Coco is perfectly reasonable. The problem with Coco is that you've got the lowest floor in the game, which is literally nothing. That's the problem with Coco. So Thalia and Coco isn't the number that people believe it is, and Stoneforge and Arbiter aren't the number that I believe, not number, but anti-synergy that I believe them to be, because you can just sequence around it. There's also games where like you're fucking them so hard with an Arbiter into Ghost Quarter, and they've got like 1 land and a fetch play that you don't even need to resolve the Stoneforge.
You never need both in play at the same time to gain an advantage. It's one or the other, right? Closing
the door is good, and Stoneforge helps you do that, but there'll be points where you can violate in and pay the mana, or you can just get the full mana. Like it really isn't as bad as it first feels, or at least I even thought it was. So,
cool.
Yeah, Little Spider Ham's got a point. There is a Shark Blade deck in Modern. I have not played against it or played with it, but people are talking about it as like a real thing, where you play Sharknado and control stuff. Basically, seems fun. Sounds like something I want to play in a video. Okay, so our new toys. So we've got our Battle Skull and Sword of Fire and Ice with Stoneforge Mystic. Our mana base, the reason I've got a castle in there is because the challenge winner from like a couple of weeks ago, this is very close. I think it's 1 or 2 cards off, including sideboard and main off of their list. Igandra is in there, so we'll play it. 4 Field of Ruin and 4 Ghost Quarter. This is the main reason that we want to play white and not splash another colour, is so that we can really get away with playing our second colour be colourless. Because, well, Field of Ruin with Arbiter is just more copies of Ghost Quarter. It's not as good as Ghost Quarter, but it's better in some matchups when you want to blow up a Tron land and keep mana source and stuff like that. Shit tons of planes, split of Silent Clearing, Sunbaked Canyon, and 2 Horizon Canopies. Basically, the split is so that you don't get randomly needled or surgical. It's like a 0.25% somewhere. Yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. Arguably, you might have black or red cards in your sideboard sometimes, like surgical, but in Modern you don't tend to do that because surgical is literally a non-synergy with Arbiter because you have to pay through your own surgical to look at someone else's deck. So that happens in Legacy more than Modern. Right, our new cards. Our deck now has 8 removal spells. So one of the famous things the deck used to struggle with was having enough removal to fight against Death Shadows and Gomags and other shit, right? Gomag's still a problem. Not that anyone plays Gomag anymore, but Gomag would still be a problem because it doesn't affect it. But Skyclave Apparition is a 3-drop that exiles a permanent of 4 CMC or less, which includes things like Okos, not that they're illegal anymore, but other people's equipment other than Battle, so Swords of Fire and Ice and another equipment I'm going to get to in a moment. Aether Vials, Astrolabes, Lilianas, Death Shadows, Uros with a trick on the stack off of a vial and shit like that. And then you can reset it with your Flicker Wisps and give them an illusion, and often the illusion is not really a problem. So Skyclave gives you an answer to so many things in the metagame that it feels a bit like it's somewhere between Wisp and Fiend Hunter in its functionality and what it does. But
it feels to be more like was it Leone Relic Warder? Like it's a very specific answer for a very specific problem. No, it's very good at the time. So
Relic Warder is a specific answer for specific things. Skyclave's uses are so wide-ranging because the most things in Modern are below 4 CMC. The decks that play bigger things, like Titan decks and shit like that, like this is not the best card against them, but we have other tools to like fight against. So it's not very narrow because it hits non-token, non-land permanent. Planeswalkers, artifacts, Chumps, Blood Moon. Let's say a Blood Moon is disruptors. We can get Blood Moon off of a vial with this and shit. Like it takes the mirrors sort of Fire and Ice out and stuff like that. It's just generally crazy how good this is, and it's also been playing Legacy as well because you can shoot it for it with Recruit of the God. I don't know if we're playing 4. I didn't play 4 when I played D&T recently on CFB. I don't know how many I played. Someone who's comes at chat might know.
So we're playing 4 here.
So we've got 4 Skyclave here because it just gives us like 8 removal spells. 4 of which are kind of like it's like an abrupt decay Assassin's Trophy-esque effect. So the reason it's like Fiend Hunter meets Flicker Wisp is that its utility is very wide-ranging, like Flicker Wisp, but it is, strictly speaking, a removal spell in the same way that Fiend Hunter is a removal spell. But it never gives them the permanent back. The important thing is giving them the illusion back we can obviously deal with.
Yeah, the illusion is always worse than what you take away.
Exactly. If you give someone back a Liliana the Last Hope, they've got a Liliana the Last Hope. Not again. I keep naming cards that just aren't relevant to the format anymore because we've had 2 years of insane power creep. But anyway. And then our other new cards from Zendikar Rising is Maul of the Skyclaves, which Moda just told me wasn't in the collection, but it is. Okay, this is a 3-mana artifact from Zendikar Rising that we can get off Stoneforge. When it ATBs, it attaches to a creature, gives them flying, first strike, and +2/+2.
So only playable because it attaches on impact, right?
Exactly. The 4 mana equip cost is quite expensive. We're a deck that rarely gets up to 4, 5, or 6 mana, honestly. Like 4 is probably the peak. The important thing is, there's a few things that it does. So firstly, it's flying and first strike, so it basically turns some of your creatures into like Baneslayer Angels and shit. If this gets onto a Battle Skull token, it is insane. Like a 6/6 flying, first striking, life-linking, vigilant creature makes Battle Skull, makes Baneslayers like Quake, right? The second thing is that Wisp targeting this brings it back in at the end of turn and it equips to something. So you can smack them with it, flicker it out, have it come back in, and now you've got a first strike flying blocker. It's really fucking good. Like, surprisingly.
And also, that on a Wisp is very powerful.
I mean, yeah, like fucking twatting people for 5.
Even first strike, yeah.
4 turn clock. So this is a card that I completely I didn't miss it. I saw it in previews and just didn't think it did anything. I was like, it's just a shit limited card. It's just moved on, and then everyone's been playing and see how good it is, and I'm like, okay, because I like to admit when I'm right and when I'm wrong, and this card I wasn't wrong on, I just completely fucking blanked it. I was like, which makes me wrong on it. I was like, that card can't be any good. I'm sorry, I'm dabbing for the dab in chat there. I'm going to update the decklist link in 2 seconds before we start, because I think it's the wrong one right now. So the mole I missed. Now we come to me jerking my own dick, right? This card, everyone saw it and immediately thought, fucking hell, that is good. That is really good. This card, people missed and some people thought was good. This card I said was playable, and people were like, it's unplayable, it's not good enough. And of course it's playable. It's a 2/3 flying creature that makes your opponent, or each player, only cast 1 spell each turn, and it also makes opponents lands in the battlefield tapped. They're non-basics. It's got so much text on it that it's just useful in many, many matchups for multitudes of reasons.
It's Big Thalia with evasion.
It's
at
big,
the very
right.
least.
So right? Big Thalia, so it's weird, right? So it has evasion, so it swings in the air. So technically it's better in a race, but Big Thalia is better in a race because it means they can't deploy blockers. So they have got a slightly different utility. There will be matches. I'm trying to think, what was a match the other day that I said on a recording? I was like, fuck, I wish this was Big Thalia. Was it Death Shadow? There are some matches where you don't want them to be able to make a creature that's untapped. Simple as like Through the Breach, for example. You don't want them casting Through the Breach and putting a creature in and smacking you with it, and Big Thalia just turns that option off for them, right? This doesn't. But this is so much better against Storm, it's so much better against Neobrand, because they just can't go off through it. Like, it's got so much weird utility on a 2/3 body. It's not recruitable, so it hasn't, like, made the waves in Legacy that it, like Skyclave can. A, Skyclave's just better all round, and B, it's tutorable off of Recruiter. It's so strange that having higher power in D&T makes you worse in many ways. But yeah, so we've got an Archon of Emeria. Stick this fucking thing on it, and it's a 4/5 flying first striking creature. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, that's where we're at with the deck. The sideboard is currently, I think we're like 1 or 2 cards again off of that challenge winner. We've got 2 Revokers, 2 Burrowed Forge Enders, 3 Rest in Pieces, 1 Selfless Spirit, which is kind of like Burrowington number 2, but it's better against Jund and Death Shadow and the
Damnation Edicts.
Yeah, well, there's an abundance of like 1 and 2 mana kill spells in Modern now that have like started cropping up. So Zendikar Rising brought in, it's a 1 mana spell with Kicker that kills 2 CMC or better when it's kicked. So that exists now. So there's an abundance of black removal. So I get people playing like multiple Burrowed Forge Enders because like Blitz is a good deck, but yeah, this is also good against this deck. So I'm splitting a little bit there. And then we've got Gideon, Ally of Zendikar to go long and grindy. 2 Mirren Crusaders, creatures that are decks with abundance of black removal and black creatures. Ave Mountains against decks that want to tutor and shit like that. And then our extra removal spells on our sideboard are Winds of Abandon. But once we start those, then we have like 8 ways to kill creatures main, 10 ways to kill creatures main board, which is pretty fucking sick. Well, 11 if you include Sword of Fire and Ice, which is obviously quite a good removal spell in some ways as well. So yeah, that is the deck. What I'm going to do now is grab the deck list that's on my screen here, and I'm going to stick it in Moobot, and then we can start playing. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. The deck is just good in most formats right now. I'm going to be playing some of the red-white variant this week or next. I don't know exactly when, because I've got some stuff to play from a Splicer call that we brewed on the weekend. But I'm going to play the red-white version, which plays the new card from Zendikar Rising, which is the 2 mana draw a card, Ghost Quarter somebody. I want to play that alongside Arbiter as well, but it's a bit rough because it's a 2 mana instance. A 2 mana sorcery next to Thalia can be a little bit
rough.
Yeah, exactly, but it's worth a shot.
I mean, 2-drop slot is quite stacked as well a lot of the time, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm always up for a strip mine, you know.
True. I mean, how is 8 too many?
The decklist link should work now. The decklist link should work, chat. So if someone wants to test that, do we want to trim a Thalia for anything? I don't think we do. So let's think about what we're going to play against. So according to Goldfish, the really popular decks right now are Uropile, Rakdos, Death Shadow, Humans, Azorius Control, Death and Taxes, Felidar Guardian Sahili combo, white-green Heliod combo, mono-red aggro, which I think is some variant of Blitz, white-green Titan and Dredge. And then you got Amulet, blue-red Tempo, Eldrazi, Tron, Spirits, and Mill. I think we'll just keep it in. I'm not really sure what I want over it.
Yeah, let's stick with consistency.
Why is there 5 deck lists? Have I put the wrong link in? Why is there 5 deck lists? Is that just someone in chat having an aneurysm? Sushi, are you having an aneurysm, my friend? Oh, you put the deck command in and Moobot gives it to you, then Cardboard Live gives it to you, then MTG Bot gives it to you, then Moobot gives it again. Oh, that's funny.
That's, well, can't say you're not covered, right?
Yeah, there you go. You can't miss it.
Right then.
Right. So,
To the league, shall we?
yeah, indeed.
What do you not want to play against?
Elves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't seem to be an entity anymore. But last time I queued up with this deck, like, was it last week? I think I've recorded with CFB for this. In fact, I can't even keep track of what's come out and what hasn't and where it is. But yeah, I played Elves, and I was like, what are the fucking chances? Like, it's literally not. It's not even on like, the page for Goldfish because no fucker's playing it. Then we got wrecked. Still, I think Port would be real good in Modern. I've been saying that they should put Port in Modern for a long time.
Yeah, that's a conversation. Yeah, we've had before.
Yeah,
sure.
I have shut about that a lot. They're never gonna sort out Legacy's pricing issue and shit. Are they? Like I said, the Reserve is never going away. So just turn Modern into Middle Legacy. Fuck it. But interestingly, I don't know if you're aware of this as well, Rob and chat, that Modern is like at its fairest it's been in a long, long time. Like when you look at the like all the decks put on 5-0s and the challenges and shit, there's very little actual combo showing up, which is strange because Modern's always been like fucking combo city.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very weird. We have won the die roll.
Spectacular. What are we looking at?
Our opponent's got a Lurrus, so that means they're either Death Shadow, Boggles, or it's probably one of those two.
Okay.
I think some people are playing it in Burn still because it's just free.
Slow, but I like the interaction.
Yeah, our hand is absolute gas if they're Death Shadow and pretty bad if they're Boggles. I guess this can actually get Boggles. Not Boggles, sorry, enchantments. I never thought of that before. Basically, all night tonight we're going to be observing how many things this deals with.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time that I've seen this in action. So I mean, I've seen it around, but it'd be nice to see it hands-on. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Are there border extended versions of this in the Collector Boosters chat? Does that exist? Because I need to pick up some, and I need to pick up some pretty ones. Before they go super expensive. Like, I was smart enough to pick up my like Japanese foils of like conspiracy cards back when people were still saying Palace Jailer was bad. Full arts do exist. Full arts. So is that like border extended or is that like borderless? This is the beauty of Magic now. There's like a fucking million variants of arts and stuff.
They should just tag them like letters. Is that an A border or a B border?
I'm working on a video about rarity, and well, it's basically just a little bit of a history lesson of like how when Mythic Rarity came around and like what they said about it and stuff. Like it's not too much of a spoiler. And I talk about Lotus Cobra being the one that incentivized me to do this, and I looked up the Yu-Gi-Oh like rarity like options. Fuck me, it's crazy. There's like 9, but most of them are visual. Like not, it's not in Magic where you got an extra rarity of Secret Lair rarity. Where you can't play these cards unless you physically bought them from Wizards. Yeah, our opponent's on Rakdos Shadow or maybe Rakdos. The other thing is that some of the Death Shadow decks are playing Swift Spears. I don't know if they're the ones putting up results, but the ones I played against last week all had Swift Spears. Screen cap is weird and not sized correctly. Ah, for fuck's sake, you're right. How about this one? That one's also not sized correctly. Let's go. There we go. That's better, right, chat? So we pathed their first threat because we do not want it. And then we can just slam a 2-drop here. We're going to get...
Assume that Mystic isn't going to stay around.
Exactly, that's why I'm not sure if we get Bascal. Like, Bascal is the best thing. I want to get Maul, just so we can like maul them in the air.
Sword's pretty good. I mean, Maul is a nice follow-up to go Flicker Wisp and then Maul, right?
Yeah. Probably Skyclave their first creature. Untap, War, Skyclave. Also, they both have Skyclave in the name, so it's thematically correct. If we untap with our Stoneforge, we probably Wisp it to get some more equipment.
And that still gives us the Flicker Wisp Maul.
Maul can save a creature from a bolt. Interesting. I never thought of that. So you hold it up on the Stoneforge. If they don't kill my Stoneforge straight away. Okay, they have decided that losing a creature and me getting a Maul makes the game unwinnable. There you go, Rob. Maul of the Skyclaves, the most powerful artifact in our deck.
The power, the sheer magnitude.
Fucking hell. Rob, have you read Dune?
Red Doom?
Yeah.
No, I've not.
No, me neither. I'm thinking of audiobooking it, but at the same time, it needs like 40 hours of audiobook time.
I didn't even know there was a novelization of Doom.
No, Dune, not Doom.
Oh, Dune.
June, sorry.
Dune.
God,
Right.
sorry. Force
Sorry,
hits, taps. It's
Doom.
all the same thing. It's all the same thing. I'm only asking because Stim's asking in chat.
After our last conversation about Dune a few weeks ago.
Dune or Doom, sorry.
Dune.
Dune, okay.
Dune. I did download it on my audio, so it's on my Audible to listen to. It's 21 hours and 2 minutes long.
Fuck, that is literally 140% longer than any. Like, all my books tend to be like 9 hours on Audible. Fucking hell. 20 hours.
I go
crazy.
out of my way to find the longer ones because I'm obsessed with value that my free credits get me. So like, I got the 70 hours of. I mean, it's really good. It's 70 hours of Stephen Fry reads all the Sherlock Holmes stories,
Right.
which is excellent in and of itself. But mainly I bought it because it was 70 hours long.
Fucking hell. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I need to catch up with my Warhammer books. Well, definitely not Pikachu. Thank you so much for gifting the sub to Crab Gone Wild, which is a great name. Chicken Joel Magic lurking there. Hello, my friends. Logan Roku. Definitely not Marco 209 and Destrina. Thank you. Definitely not Pikachu. I appreciate you showing up.
Know what you're doing right
fucking
now?
it up.
Impressing the heck.
Dune isn't that long. Dune is pretty long. Isn't the novelization? Do I have a copy behind me somewhere? I swear I've got a copy somewhere in this room.
It looks intimidating.
It's isn't it 600 pages?
Yeah, and then you open the book and it's all like 8-point print, and you're like, oh Jesus, here we go. But then again, I'm only thinking back to when I saw it when I was a kid, so things are always bigger when you're smaller, right?
It's pretty short. I'm pretty short. That's a weird slip. It's pretty long, like as far as novels go. I mean, they are of course longer, but that's not really neither here nor there. Is that one of those phrases that doesn't mean anything? It's neither here nor there. Like old men say it at the pub when they're talking about politics.
Know what you're doing right now?
God, timidly not vote.
Heck out of me.
Thank you, Wallace. Yes, 11 months.
Good fight.
And Inhuman Rabbit. Oh, there's another rabbit in the chat.
That's okay, I'm not a
Know what
rabbit.
you're doing right
Listen
now?
to. I
Impressing
thought you were.
the
Oh, you're a
heck
rabbit.
I'm a rabbit.
So you bought any Warhammer yet, Rob?
No.
Every week, Rob. I'll ask every week. Someone I was chatting to is convinced they're about to announce the Dark Mechanicus, Rob.
What is that, Vince?
That's the evil admech. It's the Space Priest clerics, but they worship the gods of chaos and the old ones.
Ooh. That sounds even more up my alley.
I know.
Tech priest. For fuck's sake.
This is fine. We've got a Bird of Forge Tender, Giver of Runes, Athalia. This is pretty good. But also, I spoke to another person who's like, no, it's definitely going to be the Chaos Guardsman. That's the next thing. I'm like, okay. So people are just pulling shit out of their ass. And the podcast I was listening to this morning in the shower was like, oh, the Mushroom people are the next one. I'm like, I don't know if they're pulling my leg here. The Mushroom people?
Surely it's just going to be the space. It's just the good odds are on the space marines, right? Based on your last video.
No, as in like there's talk of like it will there be. So at the beginning of 8th, they added a new faction called the Gene Stealer Cult, who's also a kind of thing that you'd be into as well, Rob. But we'll talk more about that in a moment. And now everyone's convinced, or not everyone, but a lot of people are getting convinced there's going to be another new faction. Like every edition they're going to add a faction. Bearing in mind there hasn't been a truly new faction, as in like not something already in the lore. So Gene Stealer Cult was an old lore thing they brought back. There's not been a new faction for 21 years or something since the Tower introduced. So yeah, all the Zotes. What about Zotes? Yeah, but Zotes are like giant lizard centaur things. I just don't think they'll ever make a full army out of that, you know? Chaos Death. Oh yeah, Squats is the other one. Is the space dwarfs, the mercenary space dwarfs. Thoughtseize. Oh, that's our Stoneforge. Okay.
Womp womp.
The Horizon Canopy on our hand is actually quite painful in this matchup.
Yeah, I was worried about keeping it.
Well, I thought we were going to get a battle score down, but...
Yeah, I mean, I liked the Burrington into Thalia as a very good defensive.
Well, even like Burrington to give her into Stoneforge because they can't kill the Stoneforge then if there's in play, but... people in chat saying about how it's unlikely we'll get Squat, like KitKat is saying. There was like a hint towards it in a recent book. Like, as in, like, it literally says someone mentions, like, sees a Squat ship, and Squats have been gone from it from a long time.
Yeah, isn't it? They've become a meme how long they've not been around.
Yeah, the term for having something removed from the game and/or canon is squatting. I guess we just go with Thalia then.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
what the fuck? Maybe they've got somewhere to be.
I can't be having with this guy. He's clearly on stream. He's chatting shit. I ain't got time to wait for him to play his fucking Thalia. It's not hard. He only had one line. Rah, rah, rah.
Well, they didn't know what we drew. We could have drawn another Stoneforge mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
No Hawks. We hadn't passed back to them yet. We didn't know they'd missed the land yet, I don't think. Had we? Did we pass back?
They were on the draw. No, they were on the play. So they went land. We went land. They went land. That was our turn.
Yeah, so I don't think they...
I don't think they missed a land drop.
Scooped to Ghost Quarter. Maybe. Redeeming 2. Here we go. Okay, Rob, let me tell you about Gene Stealer Cult, because this is your kind of shit too, right?
Bring it on. Hit me.
So, they're a faction who pray to the Four-Armed Emperor. Bearing in mind the Imperium obviously prays to the Emperor, right? Is
that Goro?
No. The Four-Armed Emperor is like almost like a spectre or like a I don't think there is no Four-Armed Emperor. It's kind of like a thing they all believe in that doesn't exist, but what it really is like a perverted version of the Imperial, like, beloved Emperor. And what the Gene Stealer Cult are they do, Stim, they do. Hang on, I'm getting to it. They are locals on planets who then become obsessed with this Four-Armed Emperor because they've got in their bloodstream and in their DNA, they've got alien material that's gotten into their bodies from the Tyranids. And this starts to manifest in them with, like, thinking about this Four-Armed Emperor and starting a little cult and all this sort of stuff. And their whole theme and flavour is local inhabitants poisoned by alien force, where they become a cult and they steal, like, rock grinder trucks and rock grinder weaponry, and they procure stuff on the planet, and then guerrilla warfare and subterfuge to fuck the planet up, ready for when the Tyranids arrive, so that the Tyranids can, like, you know, come to a softened planet, and they're like the big space bugs. They kill everything, and usually they just eat the Gene Stealer Cult as well. And then aesthetically, yeah, they're like Mad Max the Army, because they're all like wearing like goggles and they've got like fucking angle grinders for weapons and shit. And yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Exactly.
So, like, you're born hypnotized into a cult.
Well, I think when you normally, I just want to get that hand because it's garbage. Look at this, chat.
This is
down to 5.
Also garbage.
When you're like I think they're called I don't know the unit names, but the acolytes, the basic troop in the Green Stealer Cult. You're meant to be like 2 or 3 generations on. So what's happened is like someone has been impregnated by an alien or had alien DNA like get into them, and then they've impregnated someone else. A bit like Prometheus style thing. You have to keep this. And then the descendants then go like more and more mad towards this like indoctrinated cult like thing. It's got a bit of a Lovecraft thing going on there. And then it's just like fucking Mad Max style, half monster, half space alien. And they've all got some of the, like the 3rd and 4th generation, 5th generation have like 4 arms themselves, or they're purple and they've got slightly bulbous ridged heads and stuff.
So suggesting of Tyranid.
Exactly. Or literally the Gene Stealers, which are like the Tyranids like foot soldiers. I'm gonna put back one of these.
Airplanes.
Yeah.
Versatility.
Sarek's trying to link you. I'll show him in a minute. Okay, we've got a Field of Ruin against Tron here. Archon of Mirror would be pretty good if they weren't going to Tron before we get there. That'd be nice. There we go.
Okay, Thalia.
Oh, scene change. Sorry, chap. I have forgot to go back to main stream. We have mold. I'll tell you that we fucking mold and you get to see it. We went from we had Plowshare, Path to Exile, Aether Vial, and 5 lands, to Double Vial, 5 creatures, to this hand, except not with this. Okay, so they're not going to Tron us on turn 3, hopefully.
Okay.
So I guess we just try and get a Stoneforge Mystic online.
Or just play Thalia to slow them down.
Well, they're probably Eldrazi, like is the more common thing. So they're probably just going to TKS next turn anyway, which means they'll take our Stoneforge thing.
Right. Okay.
I just don't think.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, maybe they won't TKS. They haven't got like a soul land at the moment. I guess we get.
Assume no removal, right?
Yeah. I guess we get. We don't get Fire and Ice because it's worse against Khan, the Great Creator, but Batskull and Maul both equip anyway.
Yeah, so let's go Batskull.
Yeah.
Because best case scenario, they've got slow hand, relying on that expedition map, and in that gap we can get our dude down.
Yeah, Archon of Emeria hopefully will fuck them up as well, because they probably only play like 2 wastes total. Sarek, don't get me started. I was eyeing up loads of Age of Sigmar shit. I don't even want to play it. I just like the models. But I ended up telling myself, like, I've got too many fucking models to paint, glue, and build anyway. So they're now mapping main phase, which is just that they're getting their third land, Eldrazi Temple here. So we're probably going to see a TKS next turn. They're going to dismember the Mystic. That's fine. So I guess we want to... So if we go Quarter Temple, they could just play another land, and then they can get us with TKS.
No. Oh yeah, because they'll get another land.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they're only playing 1 waste, but I assume they play 2.
I'll assume they play 2.
So we're going to lose our Batskull. Well, they might not have TKS. They might just fucking reality smasher us. In which case, Big Thalia was way better. This is a matchup where Big Thalia might actually be better. Genuinely. Because it would slow down our TKSs and stuff. There's... Oh, sorry, reality smasher. So TKS takes our Batskull.
Or potentially the Thalia, depending on what they've got in hand.
Yeah, like if they have a 4-mana Walker, sure. But like the Batskull's just a thing that can trade with this and draws a card and shit.
Yeah.
They missed a land drop. So we probably do want to field them.
Yeah.
So we go Ghost Quarter, field their Eldrazi land.
Yeah.
If they fail to get a waste here, we've got double strip mine in play. They got a wastes.
Okay.
This draws them a card now, is that right? I need 2 mana to do it.
4 more. I know, that's the draw thing.
It's 2 to draw, and then you exile if you have 4 on there.
2 put page card.
Oh, I just fucking... Oh, I was reading chat and just pressed 1 twice. We've missed 2 points damage there, chat. Yeah, I'm thinking they have more than 2 either, Mega Jeff. If we don't draw anything good, we're just going to go squat them and then go squat them again. And if we just get to strip one them down. Right, do they get a 4th land?
Yeah. Digging hard.
They scribed twice.
A lot. Did they get it?
Looks like they didn't. Or they're going to do it post-combat.
Yeah, well... If that's the case, and they haven't got a decent land...
Tapped mine.
Yeah, yeah.
Matter Shaper, sure.
Sure thing, no problem.
Untap and draw a Thalia. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go squat of the power plant or the mine. Let's get the power plant to start with.
What's the math thing on it? You blow up the tower?
Yeah,
because...
you go for tower for... No, you leave tower in place. They have to tap that tower to go get the other stuff.
That's it, yeah.
They have a 3rd wastes. Do they have a 4th wastes?
I mean, there we go. Come on.
There
Yes.
we go. Now we draw a path, and then we can't cast it because of Thalia. Hey! So I'm gonna... Oh, I did attack again! Because I'm so not used to Modo, where I've had a week of like... No, I played loads of Magic last week, just not on stream. I'm not used to talking to you and looking at chat. Fuck me, I've missed 4 points of damage, chat. Someone mark up a punt. Fucking hell. Okay, we can throw Thalia under the bus here if we want to. To save 4 life. We can double block it. I'm gonna double block, fuck it.
Yeah.
If they kill Thalia, we have path unlocked. We kill this, we draw a card. There you go, it wasn't a punt, because I always meant to double block chat. I said there will be some more Among Us. I fucking loved the 2 streams we did it, so there will be some more. Just finding space. But I also want to finish Baldur's Gate 3 on stream as well.
I really wish you played that at a time where I could actually be there to watch it. I
Yes,
always think
it's
to be in
just trying to-
meetings when I'm on.
Yeah, it's trying to find the time and stuff. as well. Like I'm 9 hours in. I don't know when I'm streaming it next. Chance of the VOD on 1. That's fine.
Do you want to?
Well, Skyclave eats it, and then when this gets flickered, it gives him a 0-0. Yeah.
Spectacular.
To be honest, I might just fucking eat the matter shaper. No. This gives us path.
Yeah.
Right.
Skyclave Apparition use number 1. Eat chalice.
It's pretty good.
Vince, where's our D&D stream?
Well, yeah, we need to do it. We fucking need to do it. I've actually been talking to Toma about doing one, by the way. Would that be you DMing or me DMing or what? I don't know. I don't know how that all. I don't know what that looks like yet. That's a very businessy way of putting it, isn't it?
It really does.
How many meetings? How many meetings have you been in your life for? But someone's going, I don't know what that looks like yet. When talking about like a future plan.
A lot of times, especially at work. We're in all the operations meetings, and we're always like, we're going to do something, but we haven't quite committed to doing it yet. And it's always like, oh, hey, we're not sure what that's going to look like, but yeah, we'll see how it pans out. And like, what are we talking about? We're not painting anything.
But yeah,
I've got Rime of the Frost Maiden on roll 20, ready, crisp.
Is that what's that? Is that the one shot that's in the Icewind Dale or what?
That's the Icewind Dale campaign, the new one. I've also got Descent into Avernus because my brother recommended it very highly.
I saw that merchant got sent Curse of Strahd today.
He did, yeah. I've just finished Curse of Strahd, but I'd happily do it again.
But I'm really hoping, like, this sounds. I'm just gonna say it, chat. I'm really hoping Wizards just randomly sent me that as well because that looks fucking awesome in the little coffin thing.
Amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah. They now have to pay 4 mana to look through this Arbiter, which they cannot do. With the map, I mean, they have to pay 6 mana total. I'm going to path this. They can pay for one, but not the other.
Okay, now we can get some of that leftover damage in.
Yeah, hopefully they'll just untap player Thought Knock, because then I don't have a path for it. But wow, Skyclave Apparition can kill a fucking TKS. That's nuts. I love it.
That's 4 or less, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't exiled many 4 things yet.
And the TKS draw triggers when it leaves the battlefield, not dies.
Yes, when it leaves, because when you flicker it. Oh, that's a good point. Guttural Starburst. Guttural Starburst? It's not like Guttural Starburst, like you store them in your stomach and vetch them up. Yeah, they didn't fetch a basic anyway, so that path was never going to need to have the Arbiters to be a incredible spell. Let's go with this.
Get in with the dorks.
So if they draw a temple, they can go Smasher, but they can't really attack, because then they just die.
No, you don't.
The record is 1-0. Can't find username after our devastating defeat of Rakdos stuff.
We decimated them with our charm and wit. Hello, Holden. How you doing, Pete? And thanks for the prime, my friend. There we go. We got him. Okay, post-build. We're going to bring in both Aven Mind Sensors.
Yes. Is this a wins thing from one?
Yeah, we just bring it because the TKS is in Reality Smashes. That's kind of scary.
What's bad here?
I wonder if we want Revoker because I'm sure they're a Khan deck as well.
I think they are. I think certainly they bring it in against us. I think if it is,
I'm not a big fan of Thalia. I might cut 3 of her.
I was thinking cutting Thalia as well because they haven't got a lot really going on. Yeah. And if they're on the play, their chalices come down really early. So
and give us good against Dismember, and it's good if you've got low. Well, no, it's not. It's never good against Smasher. It's very rare you can get a good exchange with a Smasher by giving pro. It's good against TKS though, like being able to block it or whatever. I want 1 million to become mod. I'm sorry, Stib. I'm not giving away mod ship bias kisses. And MTG Tengu's saying play 40k as well, Rob. So it's kind of like you have to now. You know?
Well, he would say.
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh, that's right. Exactly. We should be thinking about what they're bringing in, and they most likely have some form of spatial contortion style stuff in the board. There you go, Pete. There's your dab. But also, yeah, they are playing Chalice, so might trim one path because of the Chalice. Oh, do we want that other Thalia?
I think we do. Because I don't know, because the hammer gives first strike though. So now, because a lot of times when whether or not to keep Thalia, it's like I'm blocking, right? Good. Like,
yeah. So the only first strikes we've got is this. So like it's just 2 cards in our entire deck. I don't think. What's just on the play? I think it's more of a discussion because then we can play it before they can us, or they always dust us. But on the draw, it's so much. It's just a whole ton slower. Just run 61 new cards as Cavil. No, Cavil! D&T versus Needle Boys. The best form of deck is probably, for you then, Jag, it's probably the 2 combined, right? Okay, we'll give this a shot.
Didn't ride these arbiters to victory.
Yeah, I wish one of these was a ghost quarter real bad.
Yeah, me too. Like any one of those.
But we've got 8. We've got 4 Field of Ruin and 4 Ghost Quarter, right? So we've got a high chance of drawing one of the much needed. Nope, I lied.
One of the
Planes.
off planes.
We're going to see a Chalice of the Void from them next turn,
Yep.
which is fine because we have 4 main board ways of getting rid of it. 8 main board ways of getting rid of it, thanks to excuse me, both Flicker Wisp and the man that lives in the cave, the ghost.
Apparition.
Yeah, that's the
Skyclave.
one. Wait, Sky Apparition is spirit? Fucking hell.
I use the spirit, yeah.
So does spirits play it? That's crazy.
So, question: you're playing Tron. You're up against this person. You're up against D&T. Do you drop your Chalice first, or do you drop your Tome first? Because this is a new card, and presumably it's taking up. Like, there's often going to be a decision there whether or not you drop this first or the Chalice.
It depends if your hand's got like TKS in it or not. Because if you've got TKS in it, you want to play the Chalice first. 6 mana. This might be end book. I'm gonna be really fucking sad. Walking Ballista. Okay, so we're gonna force them to pop that now.
Yeah,
And we want to draw. Not quite. Okay.
get rid of that.
This gives them a lot of mana. They've natural Trond, and we're giving them 1 more. I think we're gonna lose.
I feel like we're going to lose because they're just going to go. Khan.
Oh, we could have played the other Arbiter first. Doesn't matter. No. When I'm saying can't, I'm talking about Great Creator. I don't think they play. I think they play Ugin. There must be some number of Ugin in the deck. Ugin's like too good not to play, right? But they play Great Creator in a sideboard package. Or at least what I played against recently have played Khan and a sideboard package of like ballistas and other shit. Is there a reason not to play Snow Covered Basics? There's no reason to play Snow Covered Basics. I guess, Morris Boy, if there's a chance that your opponent's going to steal your land somehow, then not playing Snow Covered is probably an advantage. They have Power Plant, Tower, and Mine. They have Tron active, yeah. So we're basically... Oh, small Ugin. Of course they do a bit of X. Ugin Ineffable. But basically, we're at the mercy of them drawing badly, because they've natural Trond, and we've drawn 2 lands and an Arbiter to keep them double Arbiter. Well, there's the Khan that I was talking about. You can fake having Astrolabe. I don't think that's a valid line. I'm trying to sound too sarcastic here, because it might be a genuine question. Pretending you've got Astrolabe is... Like, what does that give us in terms of, like, a percentage towards winning? Like, in any matchup. I'm going to go as far as to say, like, nothing. Oh, yeah, no, hang on. Is Astrolabe banned in Modern? I can't even fucking remember what it's banned in and what it's not banned in. Oh, they tapped out.
Well.
Well.
Hello there. Boom. Does it leave the tower?
Well, it doesn't matter too much because I can just use a map on these lands. But yeah, the thought still stands. It still makes 2 mana, but it didn't tap out. That was a brain fart. That was a huge brain fart, chat. Well, we need to field them anyway, like regardless fielding them was correct. Except we can't get our land with a couple of second arbiter. But they hadn't tapped out because they had 1 land and that land produced 2 mana. 'Cause that's what Tron does. Fuck. God.
Attack.
Yeah, on Thin Ice isn't good enough either. But yeah, that was fucking stupid. Like, oh, they tapped out. If only a mine could somehow produce more than 1 mana.
If only there was yet 1 land that could do that.
Science has gone too far. They are cracking their Mastermind Tomb for another scry. They have 2 cards in hand. That was on upkeep. Now 3 cards in hand. Yeah, so I think it was Desata. Was it Desata, like, gifted a load of subs to get a mukbang stream? I never got around to doing it. Maybe because I was ill after after that discussion happened, and I've never... Yeah, I've just been lazy in getting it sorted after that. So I do need to do a mukbang stream at some point. So they went and grabbed a... No, they played a Walking Ballista in their hand, and they're grabbing a... It was Desata. There they are! The champion, the king of mukbang streaming. 50k channel points. That was a lot to say. I do. Thing is, I think I told you the other day on stream, and I think you were hanging out the other day, and I told you that the last couple of curries I've had have been fucking awful. So I'm kind of... I hope I'm not going off of curry, you know? I love curry. Okay, Ballista, let's call it onto a Walking Ballista soon. Would like to draw a Path to Exile? That's kind of a path to exile.
That's practically a path to exile. Does that deal with Khan?
It deals with Calm, but then Walking Ballista kills it and they get a 4/4. So we have to kill Walking Ballista here. And they kill the Apparition or the Arbiter back. But if we let them untap with potentially with Tron Mana and Ballista, we just do not win.
Okay, but what is better, the illusion we give them or the Khan they've got?
Well, no, because if we kick Khan, they untap, pump mana to Ballista, kill the Apparition, get a 4/4, have a Walking Ballista and Tron Mana. The key point is we can't give them Walking Ballista and Tron Mana, because it means they're going to untap and put 2 counters on us every turn.
Okay, fair point.
Which means that we never have a board. So we have to. I think we are not priced in. We are consigned to getting rid of the Ballista.
Right,
it's
so
not great.
Shoot the Arbiter in response, presumably.
Because they can.
Can't kill
No,
Khan.
they're going to kill Arbiter, yeah. Which is good for us, kind of, if we draw a Wisp. But if they down tick Khan here, they can go and get Walking Ballista. Well, they can't get Walking Ballista back because Walking Ballista's not under the Apparition because they killed it. Interesting. Wouldn't attacking first be better? Yeah, maybe. I think that was correct, yeah. I'm fucking up my combat real bad, chat. Who needs combat? We're a control deck. We're going to turn a corner and then win. That's not even remotely true. I should have attacked.
Yeah, we need to nickel and dime.
Well, no, we should have attacked Khan, because then they have to choose between keeping Khan or the Ballista. So, yeah. Have you tried being better at Magic? I've tried, Stim. I've given up. Staxy Boy, I don't think attacking with a 2/2 is exclusively a D&T strategy, so you catch me outside with that bullshit. Fucking hell, that's a 4/4 Death Dungeon lifelinking Thought Not here. I'm getting flashbacks to GP Prague when my French opponent was playing. No, were they Russian or French? I think they're French. They're playing French Thought Not and French Basilisk Collars, right? They equip their Basilisk Collars with their Thought Not attack, and I block with a Mirren Crusader and a Thalia, and first strike it down, and he tries to tell me, barefaced to my face, that Basilisk Collar gives lifelinking first strike. And I'm like, it doesn't do that. Do I want me to call a judge? And I was like, no, I believe you. I'm like, you know what? And to this day, I regret not calling a judge because the guy was obviously being scummy and he could have tried to scum someone else in that tournament. Yeah, so I play with foreign cards too, but you can't like fucking lie to people. I kind of think we just want to go to game 3. We'll see what we draw next turn.
Yeah.
I mean, a path or an apparition draws a card.
Yeah. Let's attack.
What, into a death touching life linking 4/4?
Oh, the apparition doesn't fly.
No, it looks like it should fly.
One of the many cards in Magic that looks like it should fly but doesn't.
Oh, maybe I should do a top 100 cards that look like they should fly but don't. That's a lot of effort. It'd have to be a top 6, honestly. Right, here comes a 4/4. We're going to take 4, they only gain 4. They have 3 cards in hand. They have approximately 1 million mana, and they have access to Khan, the Great Creator. It's why I'm thinking we can't really win. I mean, you can describe D&T like in certain matchups because with your control or not, depending on the matchup, right? But like saying it's a control deck is a bit unfair. Often because you aren't just turning the corner and then winning, like I just joked about. You often need to get your tempo on and like aggro them out and stuff.
More often than not. Yeah, you need to you nickel and dime them. You tempo. I think is the real thing. It's like a. It is. Yeah, it's a tempo-based aggro deck, isn't it? Creature-based kind of.
Yeah, because I guess it's weirdly. I guess if we're going to get into the weeds of how to define the word tempo, because tempo is about using your mana more efficiently than your opponent, right?
Yeah. You've got Aether Vials. We put up there.
So yeah, there are sequences where you are using your mana more efficiently than because Aether Vial gives you an abundance of mana. But I'm wondering if D&T could be considered an anti-tempo deck because you make their mana worse, you make their tempo worse, you cause them to be off kilter and cast their spells in the wrong sequence or not as quickly as they want to, and then you monopolize on that. So it's kind of like anti-tempo in a way. Thalias and Arbiters and stuff. Thalia would have been pretty good that matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skyclaves is the Skyclaves, I believe, are the ruins of Emeria now. Because isn't the new Emeria card called Emeria the Skyclave Ruin?
Yeah.
Or Skyclave might be a term used to describe a certain building or place, and there's multiple of them, and Emeria is one of them.
One of the floaty rocks.
Emeria's, there you go. So Lorraine just came in with the exact same comment. Emeria is one of the Skyclaves. So I think Skyclave, even though they're capitalised here and look like a proper noun, because obviously it's on a magic card. Magic cards always capitalised unless it's not I think they are always capitalised, right? Where the fuck's it gone? Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think Skyclave is like meadow, or like brook, or like canyon. It's like just a unique geographical
Piece of
feature.
geography, yeah.
Yeah. I don't really want these first strikers. Slough. Yeah, Slough is the English Skyclave.
Do we really need the Mirror Crusaders?
Well, they don't die to dismember, and they block our Thought and Seer very well. As in, they trade with it. And also, if we bring in Thales, I kind of want to have more first striking, so we have situations where we can have multiple first strikers.
Fair.
I'm wondering if it's just better than the Thales, but it probably isn't.
Are the Archons of Emilia doing much here?
Yeah, on the play, it's stopping them from troning us.
Sure. Wisps?
Yeah, God. Whenever I trim a wisp, though, I always find myself wanting to draw a wisp. I think trimming a wisp is never correct. I say this all the fucking time. It's never right.
Got too much utility.
Okay, I don't think my sideboarding there was even remotely correct, chat. This hand is soft as fuck to a Khan.
Yes, it is. Send it back. We can't even use our removal. If that was a Plains instead of Field of Ruin,
Yeah.
I'd feel better about it.
But we're on the play, Rob. We get to play an Arbiter on turn 3, and then them have untap, play a Khan, and then never cast anything again. Okay, now I've talked myself out of it. Right.
Okay, this is slower. Way slower.
Well, no, because we're in both hands are putting something into play on turn 3. So actually, arguably, the same speed. This hand also means we can top deck things that we can play with the other hand. Well, I guess lands on top. Actually, yeah, the other one. I don't know. I think both hands weren't great, but I don't know if I want to do a 5 over this. An Arbiter here would be sweet. Okay, maybe I'll just go fuck myself. Pass to our opponent. Hopefully, just play a map or a chalice or something that we can Skyclave. Mazemind Tomb. Oh, Skyclave the shit. If they just natural Tron again, I'm going to be really fucking annoyed.
It's not really natural Tron where they're toming every turn.
No. They've just gone plant tower. They're going to tap and play mine, aren't they? Do we need to Field of Ruin them here?
I think we should. Just in case. Like, what do we lose? What do we lose for doing it?
Tempo. We're not hitting them. Also, they get to have Mazemind Tomb for another turn as well. So they get 2 scries out of it.
I think it's worth it. Because what they're using the tome for, they're going to use the tome to look for. Whatever they were looking for, they now need to look for a Tron piece with it.
Well, we've got Path to Exile as well, so they go Eldrazi Temple into TKS, we can still remove it, which is nice. What I use on my beard, it's called. No, I wasn't. I shouldn't answer like that. Sounds very sarcastic. I'm not meaning to be. I just wash it. Termograph. Like again, I'm not trying to sound sarcastic. I just use like shower gel and or shampoo, depending on like what I'm up to. You know. Okay, so they're gonna Tron us anyway. So what we did didn't matter. And you know it did matter because they would have had Tron. They had natural Tron. So that's nice.
I guess.
Let's go Skyclave the Tomb. Tome. Huh. I also play with my beard a lot. Maybe that helps. I'm feeling unfortunate with how easy they're Tronning, but at the same time they haven't. It might be that they Tron and don't have a payoff. If they Tron and have a payoff, then I'm feeling generally unfortunate. If the
We've
payoff
got a
is
handful of answers though. So.
yeah, exactly. It depends on what they Tron into. If they Tron into like a big Ugin, then we're sad. But if it's Khan or like
Ugin's going to be our major problem.
5 mana for it's the moderately sized Ugin. Sorcerer's Spyglass. Okay.
Another one.
So they're going to name Ghost Quarter or Field of Ruin here. We all looking forward to the 3 mana Ugin that they'll inevitably print. That's busted as fuck. Ghost Quarter. They're going to make that, which is weird, because they know we've got small to kill the... Not to kill, to hit Ugin down. Strange.
Yeah, they're
Know
just
what
going for
you're
value.
doing right now? Impressing the
Yeah.
heck out of me.
Love modern D&T. Thanks for the great content.
Well, let's do it.
Cheers, Sad Fat Dragon. And welcome. Oh, it's not even in May, you have to. So we hit Ugin down to 1.
We've got the option to flicker out the Sorcerer's Spyglass as well next turn. Interesting.
If we draw a Ghost Quarter, yeah. Yeah, there will be a Warhammer Wednesday actual video this week. I will be streaming Warhammer at some point this week as well, but there will be a Warhammer Wednesday actual video. Last week I was very close to just doing a video talking about the Silent King's lore and stuff, as well as showing off the model that I'd made and played.
Oh, he looks so cool. He looks so
Yeah,
cool.
it's such a fucking sick model. I love it. I've played him twice now. One of the games, Rob, is 1,000 points versus 1,000 points. And my opponent killed one Necron warrior who stood back up immediately. And they killed both the towers on the Silent King, and then they lost everything else. They lost 40 Marines, a Dreadnought, and a turret. And most of that was the Silent King. He just like span around running into them. It's so
Another
good.
one.
Right, so the reason they
good.
made bodies is that they want to race us. So
Right.
we're gonna... Let's think this through.
Do you want to cash in cards for bodies?
So, Path makes a discard one. However, Flicker Wisp will put the maul onto itself upon ETB next turn, and it can block a Smasher. And it's got first strike.
So, do we take the hit?
So what I'm thinking is we path something else to conserve a little bit of life, because this is 10.
Yeah.
Then we can kill Ugin. We've got one card now. Kill Ugin, play Wisp, put the maul onto the Wisp, and then this can't come through.
Right, okay, so we want to take out the Matter Reshaper.
I think so. I mean, giving them another waste here doesn't really matter too much to us, does it? Like, they've already got like 7,000 mana, so one more waste doesn't hurt. Okay, there we go.
Cool.
Take 7.
Ow.
Right, now let's just hope they haven't finally got another... They got another map. Cool. Perfect. So we have all the information. I didn't pick up Mortarion in the end, played Nurgle. I will be getting a Mortarion before the year's out, because I'm going to get the Death Guard Codex and stuff. But I haven't got it yet. Okay, so we can Skyclave one thing, Flicker Wisp another. If we kill these, they get the fucking body things underneath.
Yeah, they get the cards, yeah, so I think we can do without those. So, let's, first of all, attack,
Go to combat.
take
yeah.
out Ugin.
Attack.
Because the other
Ugin.
option we've got is to draw a card off our Horizon Kenobi,
Indeed.
depending on how we want to roll. So, Ugin down.
Ugin is dead.
Put a wall in front of a Smasher, then presumably they just run in their spirits, right, to get the cards.
Yeah, which you probably just take.
So...
Sorry, I missed the 2. There we go. There we go. Do we just want enough bodies on board? Holding on to the Skyclave gives us an answer to Khan if they draw a Khan, so I think we have to keep
I
it.
think...
Let's
we
draw a
need
card
answers
then.
for
Let's draw a
Khan, and we
card.
also, we also need answers for
Okay, that's pretty good.
because they've got a lot.
If they draw Walking Blister, we might just be dead.
Yeah, because they got a lot of
Unfortunately.
mana.
So let's take the Skyclave out.
Yep.
Play Giver of Rinse.
Excellent. Option here.
The Maul comes back. They map. What utility lands can they have? That's good. Blast Zone.
Blast zones.
Yeah, they got Blast
Scavenger
Zone.
grounds.
Blast Zone on 3 kills our Skyclave, our Flicker Wisp, and our Maul. It's pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Stim, that list sounds fucking hot. I'm going to end up with at least one of each of the Greater Demons and at least 2 Great Unclaimed ones. So, why are you going for... Is Bloodthirst the cheapest? Is that why? Oh, Rob, so the Bloodthirst. So each of the 4 Chaos Gods, Rob. Do we take 2? Do we give them a card draw or do we just take 2? Just take
They're
2.
attacked with that for a reason. Yeah, we'll take 2.
Yeah.
Whatever's under that card is not as bad.
Yeah,
as
we need a Field of Ruin or a Ghost Court because we can get rid of this with Skyclave to get rid of this Blast Zone before they can attack with it. Let's focus on this before I tell you about the cool demon shit. No. Okay. So we lose all our 3 drops next turn.
Okay. So I just swing like buggery and die, I guess.
They can only hit for 9 next turn. Do we 7 them then?
Well, we might as well attack with the maw, because the maw's going to go as is the flicker wisp. So
I'm just wondering if we attack with this and give it protection from colourless, just get in for 7.
yeah, it's going, isn't it? So an apparition.
No, because if we play out all our 3 drops, we lose everything. So now we've got to use apparition next turn after they've blown up all our shit. God, that blast is so brutal here. A Burden Forge trying to protect your other things from bolts, Fats Master. So it's not the pro-rate body itself. It's the fact that you can, well, you can actually turn damage off of a lightning storm and weird shit like that as well. But you can also stop people from killing your Stoneforge Mystic with bolts and shit like that.
And Volcanic Fallout and other red base sweepers.
Yeah. I get a body back from this as well. Fuck me. So we need to draw. What do we need to draw?
Cataclysm.
Yeah, right. Settle the wreckage. We actually could draw Winds of Abandon and we 1 mana short of casting it. Path to Exile.
Well, it deals with the Smasher, but we're still dead.
It doesn't deal with the Smasher because we have to have a card in hand to be able to get rid of it. Because of the counter clause.
Damn. Oh, we're dead then.
Yeah, that just didn't go very well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. Right, I want to grab some water before we talk shit. Do you want to chat for a second?
Sure. Hello, chat. It's me. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. Hi, chat. Looks like we've got myself for this week's 40k stream. Oh. What are you playing in this week's 40k stream, Ape of Justice? Is this the Ask Me Anything portion of the stream? Yes, why not? Yeah, let's do Ask Me Anything. I've done that in ages. I'm bringing Tyranids, I'm sure. Oh, they're the aliens. I know what they are. Yeah, they're things. So, favorite flavor of crisps / chips. I like the sweet chili Sunbites. They're very, very good. I'm also a big fan of Doritos. Various flavors. Walker's Worcestershire sauce. Go old school. Yes, Chris. What was the? I seem to recall some other like horrendously old school flavor that I used to hate. Smoky bacon. That's I was never a fan of smoky bacon, but it was just the worst. Favorite 90s action film? 90s action film. Shit. Well, it's probably Commando. Or was that 80s? Okay, I'll play it safe. I'll say Demolition Man because I know that one's 90s. Prawn Cocktail. Yeah, also quite bad. But then I always love Skips. So, what can you say? Salt and Shake. Never had that in our house. If you were a legendary creature, who are you? Cool. Blimey, what question? Norin the Wary, because I'm never around when people want me to be. Have you tried sweet chili Doritos? Oh, that's an ape. There's our deck in various flavors. So I finished Baldur's Gate 3, as far as the game has been made, and you know you're at the end because the game is very definitively tells you so. And I've been having a lot of fun with that. It's very good. And now I'm trying to do it as a solo run, and I'm getting my head smashed in, which it makes it a very interesting challenge. You okay? Just coming in to miss the whole monster. You did not. We're only 2 games in so far. We've just taking a quick water break / ask me anything / I'm going to talk at you for a while break. Is this first time I managed to get? Does this count as a punt? Probably, yes. What's your beard grooming routine, Rob? I shave it off whenever it slightly gets even slightly looking like a beard. I don't have a beard. Worst Christmas gift. Worst Christmas gift. I don't have one, but my sister got scented coat hangers once, and that's up there. That really is up there, and it always makes me laugh. Oh, I take it there's a dog on stream.
Yeah, Rob. Sorry, I haven't got my headset on yet, but I've got Bob here. Yeah. So, chat. There will be a Bob and Bruce emote when I finally make partner. Oh, that was a big yawn, wasn't it, boy? Whenever Daxon yawns or stretches, you're legally obliged to mention how big it was. Oh, boy. Bobby, don't lick my face. Your breath smells like fish, boy. Oh. Oh, Bobby. Oh, Bobby. Are you beautiful? Does chat love you? Hey? Does chat love you, boy? Yes, it does. Oh, your breath fucking stinks, boy. What have you been eating?
So cute.
Come here. No, do that. Come here. There we go. Oh. So this is Bovril, everyone. This is the youngest. This is one that won Puppy of the Month last month.
Woo! Bam, bam, bam.
Thanks to everyone voting as well.
Yeah, thanks to
to his mum now.
10,000 subs. Got to do something with them, right? Oh, he's so cute.
The reason Bruce isn't coming on stream, chat, is A, he doesn't like to be picked up as much as Bob does, and B, he looks very comfortable curled up in bed. So Rob, what chat talking to you about more Warhammer stuff?
Briefly, we talked about bringing Tyranids to your stream next, and how you're going to mess them up, and then we talked about crisps.
Oh, I do like crisps. I had 2 packets of crisps today. Both of them chilly, and then I wonder why my arsehole's sore all the time. Stim says, apparently 3 Bloodthirsters, 2 Great Unclean Ones, 2 Keeper Secrets, and 1 Lord of Change is 1990 points, and you eat up all your CP. Are you taking into account getting them into detachments? Because you've got to spend 1 CP per model to put them into detachments on their own, because you need to take troops. Yes. So, Rob, a couple of things the bit I was going to tell you about before we try to focus on our game, then lost. So, with the Greater Demons, which, like, you see the Great Unclean One that I've got, right? There's one for each of the gods. The Bloodthirster is a giant, demonic, like, axe-wielding, like, typical demon. I want to get one of each of them so I can use them as, like, big models in D&D as well. So, Bloodthirsters, every Greater Demon can be exalted for 1 CP. You get like 12 points per 2,000 points you play, and the 12 points can be spent on like spells, basically, like stratagems, like soldiers go over there, or you're exalted, or promoting a unit and stuff like that, right? So it's a resource management within Warhammer. So you exalt them, and there's a table of 6 different things. You get to either pick 1 or roll a dice and get 2. And there's like some really cool shit. So, for example, the Great Unclean One, he either gains more bulk. So when he charges, he does wounds to the thing that he lands onto when he charges. So like he's got a crushing bulk. He also gets a vomit attack as an option, where he can during shooting, because there's a shooting phase, he gets to just look at anything within 12 inches and vomit on them and like potentially melt people. He gets a load of stuff like that. Okay, but the Bloodthirster gets the coolest one from a thematic perspective. It might be a relic actually, because you get like ancient relics that you can give to your characters. There's a relic that is it's called like the Bloodthirster's axe or some shit. Someone can look up on Wikipedia now. It has a trapped Bloodthirster. So the demon who's carrying it, a version of him, trapped inside it. And when he dies, the Bloodthirster, on a 4-up, so 50% of the time, or 4, 5, or 6 on a dice, D6, when he dies, the axe is broken and a bloodthirster bursts out, and you get like a half health bloodthirster come out of it. Like the demon's been waiting to fight, and when the first one dies, it takes over. Exactly. See what I mean? There's so much cool D&D-esque shit. Oh, and another one I think you'll like is that chaos characters during combat, if they fell another character or maybe a monster in vehicle, I'll have to look it up. You can spend CP to trigger a boon of chaos, where you roll 2d6, and then on like a chart of 12 different things, they get a boon from their chaos god, which can be like improved health or more damage or whatever. But the whole point is they get it for like doing chaotically evil deeds, like killing characters. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of stuff that feels very D&D, very tabletop, still within the wargame.
That is very cool, because I've seen...
So cool.
I've seen a couple of your streams, and a lot of it seems to be there's a lot of setup involved. And
yeah, of course.
I'm not capturing the thematic elements as much.
I think
when you're trying to just adjust your model ever so slightly, so it's like just
I mean,
that kind of stuff. I lose myself.
It's like when people get bogged down in D&D with like, oh, how far can I move, or like people will tell me on stream to jump out of combat in Baldur's Gate 3 to avoid like opportunity attacks. It's shit like that. That happens in 40k as well. Like, rotating your model so they can't see your spear poking out from behind the wall and stuff. Like, just shit like that. But it's just really cool how the original Rogue Trader was designed as a tabletop war game with RPGs in mind to allow people to play with their space fantasy models they were selling. And a lot of that, like, RPG tabletop elements still exists in it with, like, you know, charts where you get boons of chaos and relics and shit. And it's just, yeah, it's cool. It's very cool.
It is very cool. I love that all sounds incredible. Like, and being able to visualize that, I think, is very cool.
Yeah. I think there are races in there, like I said, the Mechanicus, the demons, a lot of the chaos stuff. That would resonate with you. I know obviously, like, the superhuman stud men isn't quite your thing, but...
Not my cup of tea.
No.
You know, there are plenty of people to enjoy the superhuman stud man.
We will stream. We will do some D&D stream at some point very soon. I'll get a group chat between me, you, Tomo, and get someone else involved as well. I don't think John wants to, but he's obviously invited. He wants to, like remotely. But I'm hoping like maybe in the new year we can do some like physical. I want to think about setting up to create some way of physical streaming, both Warhammer, D&D, tabletop. There's all sorts of stuff like that. And obviously, you're not that far away from me, are you? So it'll be okay.
No, not at all.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, now that I've moved house, I'm not actually coming to you live from my lounge television. So I actually have an office with desk space.
I was wondering if
I could set up some extra cameras and get my mic and get everything all organised.
I was wondering if the other half just has to put up with you in the living room, just fucking consuming the like.
All the space.
Would Rob like the Sisters of Battle? I don't know, Rob. How do you feel about angry space nuns?
If they're anything like the angry nuns that are in that, that fucking what's he called, Hitman game, then no.
Wait, oh no, they're like super sexy nuns, aren't they? Which Hitman was that?
Hitman 1 with some kind of subtitle.
Well, they've all had subtitles. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was Blood Money.
Was Blood Money the one before? So the current one's Contracts, right? There's Contracts 1 and 2, isn't there? Which are the new ones that everyone says are good.
Absolution.
So was Absolution the third or the fourth one, chat? Sub notification should be on Jafar. Sorry, I did briefly see you. See you got a sub. It'll probably pop through. It's Twitch and OBS, right? That's shit. But thank you for. I will thank you anyway. I believe you.
Jafar. It's just about are the female space marines, right?
No, they're not space marines. They're just humans in power armor. So they're not as strong, they're not as physically tough, but they often fight enemies just as hard as the Astartes and win, because they're fueled by like burning devotion. To the point that there's a mechanic in the game where you get devotion dice, where they can bring about their devotion to the Emperor to like bring about miracles, basically.
That's cool.
And they're like,
I like the idea of miracles being like forced into the world.
Yeah, like
rather than being like granted, because like usually like with a miracle, like you pray and then it's granted too, but instead of just like going out to the power and pulling it out.
Well, I think
a lot more like it always makes me feel like gonna go World of Warcraft here, but the like how the Blood Elves they captured like some kind of divine essence and then they had paladins, and they just hijacked a holy force and used
which expansion was that in?
Burning Crusade.
Oh, that was when they were introduced, wasn't it? Burning Crusade.
Yes,
because they weren't in vanilla, were they?
Yeah, and I always liked that idea about how they were just like, well, this is a real good power source. Let's just take that.
I should probably show chat the game while we talk. Sorry, chat.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Our parents on all of the Spiral of House Welding Jar. Maybe it's Affinity, who knows? Because the Blood Elves were introduced into Warcraft 3 in the expansion pack in Frozen Throne, and they were basically magic immune, if I remember correctly. So like you
Yeah.
had a blood mage, which was the character type, that you could get from, I think it was from the mercenary camp. I don't think you could build him as a night elf player. You had to get him from the mercenary camp. But you also had another mercenary called blood elf. They had glaives. They were on foot and they were men and they had glaives. And they had like absolute magic immunity, I think. So like if someone would have cast a blizzard on them, they'd take no damage. If I remember correctly. And that was how the blood elves were in Warcraft 3.
Yeah, so in World of Warcraft, it's like post that they absorb magic, and then because and they feed off, but then they get their shit fucked up by the.
Yeah, that is mechanically in Warcraft 3 because they're spell immune, but I think they get a charge. Spellbreakers, that's it. Spellbreakers. It's a human unit. That's it. Yeah, they're blood elves. They're humans. They have feedback or mana burn. So when they hit you, they burn your mana. Take your mana off of you, and then when spelled to cast on them, they get a charge for an ability that you can get from the upgrades. I think if I remember correctly. It's been a long time.
Those games are so good. The RTSs.
I fucking love them. I'm really sad that the remake
Been
was
away
so bad.
from MTG for a few months. Is it a good time to return?
Is it a good time to return, Dozer? If I'm honest, probably not. But we don't ever know if there will ever be a good time. But welcome back, Dozer, and thank you for the sub as well, my friend. What did you play before, Dozer? That's a question, I guess. Like, Modern feels like it's in a good place. A goodish place. I mean, there's still fucking Uro knocking about. But yeah, so that's interesting. I didn't know the Blood Elves, like, entrapped gods and shit.
Yeah, it was a like divine thing. They're powered by these weird, like, glowy yellow alien things. And
what are they called?
It's called. Their one is called the Sindorai, but that's not what it's actually called. It's just something flashed into my brain. I'm not explaining this very well.
Didn't the Blood Elves and the Draenei have a big fight? Is that a thing?
Yes, yeah, because one of their things, one of their gold shiny things, was like the Draenei like revere them, and that's where they get their holy power from. But the Blood Elves one, they just nicked, and then they like chained it up, and they forced it to give them divine power.
Is World of Warcraft a bit like Star Wars, where if you talk about it online, someone will inevitably correct you and tell you your opinion is wrong?
I'm hoping so, because I know that my lore is extremely shaky. It's been a long time since I've.
Because people in chat are saying things like Naru. What's Naru?
Naru's that's the name of the Draenei shiny thing. I don't know why am I now. Are we talking about this? I don't want to. We're talking about something else that's way more interesting.
I fucking love nerdy lore shit, and I love Warcraft. I just never liked MMOs. That was the problem. It's interesting you talk about like the idea that divinity or
it can be pulled out of the god,
or it's forcefully manifested and not like given. Because like Warhammer's completely about that. Like the orcs, we talked about that before. They just make things happen. I believe the sisters as well. Their devotion is just because of their. It's like a latent psychic ability, and there's a huge amount of that happen. And all the chaos gods are manifested from living beings doing stuff. So Slanesh was born of the hedonism of the Elder.
Yeah, those people fucked it into existence.
Yeah, that's the running joke. Yeah,
Impressing the heck out.
And it's that kind of stuff. Actually, I think is really interesting. Like, because you compare that to like, because I really like the way that the gods in Faerun and D&D work, like and their interactions with humans and how that's like changed over the time, like the through the Forgotten Realms timeline, all that sort of like has changed, and I think that's all very very.
So what is the change? So I think I know the change. Like I'm aware of them from like playing D&D and playing Baldur's Gate and stuff. Also, thank you for the sub, Steve Adele 1986. And welcome, my friend. But how has it changed?
So. Originally, it was like the gods were like they were powered by belief in the same way the ones in the Discworld are,
You doing right now?
and the ones in Theros are. So you don't like if you don't get souls, you don't exist, and the more souls you have, the more powerful you become. But then, because a lot of the demons and the devils like to do that kind of stuff as well, and some of the death gods start to harvest away souls. Which started to cause issues. They changed the way that like how the gods could grant power, because what started to happen was that like really powerful gods could give really powerful magic, and it starts to like upset the balance of the divine. And when humans start to ascend to godhood and human ego starts to ascend to godhood,
how do humans start ascending?
So
No, you
this
don't like
this is spoilers for what's going to
Impressing
happen
the
later in Baldur's Gate
heck out
3, I believe,
How are
because
we
it talks
doing?
about
It's a theory, not like a known
yeah, a
truth.
theory, yeah. So it's about because they reference the old death god, that first dungeon.
What god's
The
that?
talkative skeleton, Varkul.
Right.
He was the god who gets killed by Bane, Baal, and
Baal. So it does tie into Baal. Okay.
yeah, and the other one.
Thank you for the hype
they,
train level 2, Bobby O and Recon Bravo team. I'm not ignoring people, by the way. I'm just trying to give time for Bob to actually explain things. But when we got to hype train level 2, I felt like I should mention it. So thank you. We're on a hype train. Rob, continue. Tell me more about Baal.
Yes, sorry, no, Jurgil is the old god. Vargul is the other, I believe, is the other guy. So they kill. So basically, gods have they have their what's the word for it? They have certain things that they align to. So certain gods have certain attributes that sit within their there's a word for it. I can't remember what it is, but basically, it's their theme basically. And so the old death gods can be start to get divided up. So that's why you end up with Baal as the god of murder, but you've got
who divides them though? Is there like a fucking
so what happens is that the humans found a way to using basically a magic sword essentially to carve off bits of domains like portfolio. Thank you, Dr. Badfall.
Wait, who calls it a portfolio though?
It's the sort of the in-game name for it.
Right.
It's a portfolio of things.
It sounds very clinical for
yes.
the divine to call their.
It does. So they found a way to carve off bits of portfolio. So the old gods would have they had very large portfolios, but then they start to divide down. So that's how you end up with a god of the night and a god of the stars and a god of the moon, for example, right? And where humans start to carve that off, that's how you end up with divided up versions of it. And then as human egos become gods, they interact more with the human world, and then that causes more havoc amongst the older gods, who then put a crackdown on it, which is what Time Troubles is all about. Humans ascend to godhood.
So it's the ruling class not being happy about social mobility.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh, by the way, chat, we just died to that double shrapnel blast and an attack from Gigantha. Just wasn't expecting that. Right, go to game 2. Carry on, Bob. Carry on.
So the Time of Troubles basically they found a way to basically stop basically try and stop humans from becoming any more godlike. And then at this around about similar time, there was some issue. So they had demons that were starting to ascend to godhood as well. This is where Orcus comes into the picture, because Orcus is the demon god of death. Which makes him a god of death, but he's not quite as powerful as a god, but he's essentially a god. And so it becomes a sort of renaissance where people are they're not gods, they're just really powerful dudes, and there's so this equality. So the old gods did their best to push back against that and to stop people that did not have a divine spark to have a divine spark.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. So I've always wondered, but never really asked the question as to how come Orcus is the god of death when we've already got 2 other gods of death over there? It's never really been.
Yeah. So with Orcus, what he did is Orcus he stole Lolth's. He stole an old god's power to steal Lolth's power, and then
Lolth being, as Pete just said, the goddess of the drow.
Yes, the drow goddess. Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing that always confused me. I'm so you have a goddess of a god of a certain race, and you're well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. How come the humans?
She's not the god of drow. She's not the goddess of drow. She's the goddess of spiders and tyranny and that kind of stuff.
I love tyranny. Carry
on. She's just worshipped by drow because they really like her, and
they like spiders and tyranny, don't they?
Yeah. So it's So Lolth isn't a drow. Not like Corellin Lorethian is an elf.
Our guy is saying that Orcus is a primordial demon who has pretty much always been there.
Yeah, but he doesn't make him a god, and that's the thing. That's the issue, right?
Yeah, Uro isn't a god on Theros. Uro is a titan. Although I guess that's also confusing because they're all devotion based too, right? So anyone could really be a god. This hand is gas, Megachurf. Shut your mouth. The fuck you talking about? They aren't going to have a braids. A braids are for cowards. Look, join another land. Never, didn't have it. I wonder how many basics they play. Yeah, I think D&D lore is pretty interesting.
I love the D&D lore. The Forgotten Realms lore in particular, I'm very...
Oh, that's the thing as well, yeah. I confuse the two quite often because like most of my D&D exposure has been through Fairy. I mean, that's probably the same for a lot of people, especially people of my age, where they come up during the like the CRPG renaissance of like Planescape Torment, Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Neverwinter Nights, sort of thing. Although I never really had I never got Neverwinter Nights because my local store didn't have it, and back in those days you didn't buy things online. So
I got a copy of Neverwinter Nights. I think I told you before. I got a bootlegged, copied copy from somebody in my English class back in the day. It was in a printed out sleeve and like a printed out like, instruction book on like 4 like CDR discs. It was so good. I loved it, and absolutely, and that game was so good. Like it had DM rules set in, so you could build adventures with your friends to play, and you wrote the scripts and did
I played it very
very
late, like maybe like years after its heyday, when like like I had more disposable income or more access to torrents, one of the two, and and I was just like, this is not aged in a way that makes me. I can go back and play Baldur's Gate 2 and it feels fresh and new still because of my nostalgia, weirdly, but yeah, Neverwinter Nights. I that ship had sailed by the time I got on board, I guess. Stim says, don't get Rob started on the lore behind the dragon gods.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that. But I'm not going to go there because it's
so close to
it's even more. It's weirder, and the further back you go, it's weird still. And like with the dragon gods in particular, there's a lot of new stuff of which I'm not 100% down on.
Thank you, Jafar, and I love the way Jafar actually gave us a very nice message saying like 2 years, been a pleasure watching pop off and all this sort of stuff, and it just didn't pop earlier, so he's trying to be all heartfelt and it hadn't come through. But thanks, Jafar. I'll catch up if you're still around, Jafar. I'll be around after the stream, obviously on Discord and stuff. Rob, did you say you don't like the new Dragon God stuff?
Oh no, I'm not as familiar with it, so talking about it at length it will be a challenge.
Right.
I know, like, because they changed it all with trying to align the good dragons in the same way they aligned the evil dragons. So evil dragons all connect back to Tiamat, who's like a whole thing, and it has alignments to devils and stuff. Whereas
Tiamat is the god of devils now.
Oh no, she's not. She's the goddess of dragons, but she lives in Avernus, or not in Avernus. She lives on one of the layers of hell, which gives her like demonic alignment.
The Baldur's Gate Travels to Avernus, whatever the fuck it was called, that campaign book. Was it actually a prequel to the current Baldur's Gate game, or was that just all the games magazines like trying their hardest to get clicks?
As far as I've seen, it's just people referencing like lore elements.
Because they're both set vaguely in the same world and vaguely within the same like century or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I saw the Polygon going, the prequel tabletop. I was like, was it? I didn't think it was, but...
It's like so in Forgotten Realms there are several like key like time events. So the Time of Troubles is one. The Fall of Mithranor is another. The Fall of Anorok is one. The Spell Plague is a more recent one that people probably know.
Was there a video game that involved the Spell Plague?
I think the Neverwinter Nights MMO is Spell Plague related.
Right. And also, is it 4th or early 5th that talks a lot about Spell Plague then?
4th for Spell Plague.
Was Spell Plague pre or during? Like, is it the background setting?
It happens. I believe it happens sort of at the beginning and sort of during 4th edition. So, and then everything that happens in 5th edition happens after that. But there's the point where the events that happen in Descent to Avernus are directly sort of referenced in Baldur's Gate 3. I've had at least 3 conversations with characters who were at a significant place at a significant time, and I'm not going to spoil any more than that.
Right, yeah, because I still need to finish the early access.
I decide, for the game and for the Descent of Avernus. How are you getting on with
so I'm 9 hours in. My last session was a lot of reloading and trying to kill some fucking ogres. Which is I probably should be doing.
Was there the 3 ogres in the deserted town?
Yeah.
Have you been able to knock down the ceiling?
Well, I dimension doored up to the top of it and like took the high ground with my wizard, who gets knocked down every fight. Gale gets just knocked out every fight, so he's a liability. And then they knocked the ceiling down. I was like, oh fuck. So yeah, in Soul, I didn't want to see in Soul here. That's what I want my wisp for. We can take 9 here. I think that's fine.
Yeah, 9's fine.
No attacks. End of turn, make a thing. So I'm enjoying it. I keep having really weird things happen. So like, I let chat decide whether we. So when the archer is having to go at the child,
yeah,
okay, they don't think they can beat up Ascol. Cool. I was like, you can't be like that with a child. And I was like, oh, it's my home and all this sort of shit. And then we started chatting to her again. The option to like just attack her come up. I was like, chat, like I do feel strongly opposed to the way she's been. And chat, like 60% were like, attack her. So I fought her, killed the whole enclave, come outside. The druids were dead, which I'm assuming is very different from your playthrough, right?
Yeah, so I'm on my second playthrough, but I'll let you finish that and then I'll tell you.
So that happened, and then also there's a minor spoiler chat. I won't go to huge spoiler. I won't say what happens at that point, just one small spoiler. And the other small spoiler, I won't get again into big spoilers, is that you're the gnome on the windmill.
Yes.
I accidentally pressed the wrong button and flung him off into the air and he died. Which again was not the intention, but I'm enjoying that like the game just carries on with my mistakes. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's just roll with it.
There is a lot of joy in like because you have situations where you have to roll during conversations and things like that, and you can't save during it. There's a temptation to try and do it perfectly, but trying to like Iron Man every scenario, I think, is way better.
But that's what I've been doing. But then I've been reloading several fights now that I've gone horribly wrong.
I would reload. Yeah, I mean, reloading fights that go wrong is fine because you're not playing like this is the thing, right? You're playing Baldur's Gate. You are not playing fucking XCOM, right? So the point of XCOM is to do tactical combat intelligently. The point of Baldur's Gate is to enjoy the story.
Yeah, I'm loving. I'm TPK's. Our guy's been there for like, what was that one? Oh, I didn't know the controls yet on the ship, so I accidentally like I force attacked close range with my sword, like an explosive barrel, and like just killed the whole team. I was like, oh, whoopsie daisy, just shit like that. But no, I am loving the fact that in very D&D fashion, the game is letting me carry on with like ludicrous decisions and stuff. So that's nice.
Definitely, I really like that. I like that. I played it through as a mage first time around, and had a lot of fun trying to like find creative combat solutions to problems. Well,
it's good that the game has that. Like the fact that you can freeze blood and like fling things around the environment, and like I'm playing a warrior role, but my creative solution is often just to throw things.
Well, that's the thing. I was thinking of playing that. I've been playing because I decided I was going to play like a sort of slightly more evil character, and my second run through is playing a cleric of Baal, and I decided that
I didn't notice that. Cool.
And I didn't realize that my character really didn't like any of the NPCs until I started talking to them. I was like, fuck it, let's solo this. Let's see how we get on. And the strategy for soloing, and bearing in mind my dexterity is terrible, like having to like sneak around and like magify people and like sort of long distance kill people, it's been working quite well. But I do find that I'm throwing a lot of barrels around, so I was thinking that maybe my next character should just be like Mr. D Onky Kong and just kill everything by throwing barrels.
My warrior is like 17 strength, 18 charisma, and dump everything else. Oh no, I think he's got quite high con. He's got 3 high stats and dumped everything else because I like being able to have options in chat, and also I didn't realize that the game would allow me to throw so many things. That's good. To have the cub take a goblin. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like did you do the owlbear bit?
Yeah, killed the owlbear. Killed the owlbear solo.
So someone in the chat was like, "Can you throw the cub at the owlbear? Like, just give it a shot." So I just threw this cub at the owlbear. I was like, "Yo, it's like having chat." There's also fun because it feels like I'm playing with some of my friends who, when we play D&D, they just do really dumb shit, and it feels like that as well, which is pretty cool.
That's nice. So how far away from the bugbear are you? You're
from the owlbear. No, I've done a load of the Druid's Cove stuff, and then I've gone round to the Goblin Settlement now after doing the owlbear bit. I've done the ruins. I've done the Druid Cove. I did sneaking around the back into the Druid's Cove and then getting poisoned by that woman. Did some underground bits where there was like goblins on a corpse, and I reloaded 3 times to try and save this body. I was on 1 HP, like a pickpocket they captured. Failed that. So I might still have a very long way to go. I probably still have at least another 10 hours, because a lot of it's been like fucking around with chat and stuff as well. I haven't been...
I did. I thought I'd done the whole of the Druid Cove when I went my first playthrough, and now I've just finished it in my second playthrough, and I missed so much. Like, there's loads of bits that I...
Well, when I had my altercation with the Druids... So have you killed the Druids in either playthrough?
No. So what has happened in my good playthrough, I saved the place and everything was wonderful. In my second playthrough, I'm playing Cleric of Baal, and I was talking to the head of the tieflings, and I decided that for the sake of Baal, I would kill the leader of these terrible tieflings. So I killed him and his friend, who were in like their own room, and nobody appears to have noticed yet. So I'm very pleased about that, because I'm still going to the shop and buying stuff and talking to everybody. And then I rescued a tiefling from a I'm just going to say I went to the beach and rescued a tiefling, and now
Yeah.
a bunch of tieflings want me to steal
Yeah.
the idol, and I'm humming and hawing about how to do that. But most
I
importantly,
forgot they asked for that idol.
well, so going back to my first playthrough, my first playthrough I played a halfling mage, and generally speaking, any halfling that I play in D&D is very positively disposed towards goblins. And so when did you meet the goblin prisoner in your playthrough?
Yeah, I killed her.
Okay, I didn't kill her.
She was threatening to eat their dogs, and I was like, "That's not cool." So I killed her.
I snuck her out, and then when I did my good playthrough, I managed to sneak all the way into the goblin place, and then sort of basically like snuck my way in and then killed everybody inside. But there was an option to do something completely different, which I want to try and do this time around. And so I'm hoping to do that this time. So I haven't done anything more in the Druid Enclave because you need to go to the Goblin and then come back to do it.
Yeah, so I'm doing the Goblin bit now. Yeah, sorry, people in chat asking, we're talking about Baldur's Gate 3, which I'm currently streaming my entire playthrough. So I'm 3 sessions in, 3 hour sessions, I'm 9 hours in, with a lot of fucking about, I guess. And I'm loving it. And once I finish the alpha playthrough, which they say is around 20 to 25 hours for Act 1, me and Rob will probably end up playing some like multiplayer of it and stuff. Maybe at the next big update when the new classes come in. Because I want to play multi-class, Rob. I want to play like, one level in Rogue, 4 levels in Wizard or whatever. That sort of dumb shit. But
oh yeah,
obviously those options aren't available right now. I think I'm just going to get rid of this Vault Scourge and then save the other wins for this. Hasn't got anything close to release date. So if you want the full game, non-early access, they're saying it could be up to 2 years. I would say that if you're really into CRPGs, or D&D, or Baldur's Gate, or any of the above, then just go for it. Like, it's not finished, it's not polished. There are bugs that are kind of, like, actually genuinely really funny sometimes.
Some of the bugs are very good.
Yeah, but like I said, Divinity Early Access were saying this, that it took a year, and they're saying it's going to take longer, because this game's got, like, is it double the dialogue lines of Divinity or something, like they're saying in the developer vlog thing, and then they're mocapping all the scenes. You can tell a lot of it hasn't been mocapped properly. Do I use Burriton to save the Giver here? Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's gonna be a long time coming. But there's like I said, there's so much to do. Like I thought I got to the end, and then I found the actual end, which is definitely the end because they basically tell you it's the end. And now I'm doing it again, and there's still more that I haven't seen, and there's a bunch of party members that I haven't played with yet. So there's a lot of content in that 20 hours. Like just to run it from end to end is probably 20 hours, but there's so much more.
Because do they have the end of act thing like they had in the first Baldur's Gate, where they play dramatic music and have a stained glass window in Baldur's Gate 2?
Not quite, but I'm not going to spoil it for you.
They should have something like that.
It's better than that.
What? Oh, so it's Boo or someone, isn't it? Don't say anything. I shouldn't ask questions. But yeah, like I wish there was a few more thematic. The music sounds like Baldur's Gate, but visually, aesthetically, and gameplay wise, it is very hard for it to feel like Baldur's Gate, because we'll talk about this, won't we? It's been like fucking how many? Like 2 decades.
Yeah, it's been 20 years, so like the gameplay is going to be. Although this is the thing, right? So I thought I'd try up doing a solo run to see whether or not I could do it, because I've played Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 so many times that I know everything about, and a lot of the ways that you do solo runs in Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate 2 in particular, is you stand. Yeah, you cheese it. You stand just out of range of the fog of war, and you fire fireballs repeatedly into the enemy, right?
Yeah.
And that's a solid.
That's the solid tactic for beating any boss, any fight that's too high level for you. Is just fucking. Yeah.
Exactly. So I found that. I didn't plan to play this character as solo, but I've been doing it, and it's nice to see that like there are all these gameplay options, right? So you can. It's hard as fuck. You miss out a load of dialogue, but you can do it. And it's like. It's very interesting, like from a gameplay perspective, the way that a game is built. It doesn't just because it looks like it rewards like tactical play, but it also rewards imaginative and fucking about play as well. As you probably experienced.
Yeah, definitely fucking about a huge amount. FYI, chat, I'm letting my Thalia die here, so I can just exile their whole board and give them a load of lands. Let's cast this with Overload. Here we go. No land, no creatures for you, but you can have lands, my friend. There we go.
Lovely.
And now we can swing with Blink, Flicker West. They can only block with Blink off Nexus. They have no board. We're not tempted to get. We're not going to get like slapped and then like double shrapnel blasted or something. A braid. I don't have 2 red burn spells. That'd be frustrating. So now they can block my Blink North Nexus for their Wisp, but then they die to the Apparition. Cool, we got there.
Nice.
You could have wins on the land and given Thalia Pro Blue and won. Could have wins on the land. Yeah, probably. To be fair, you're right. But I wanted to Wrath their whole board. Why play a 6-mana one-sided Wrath if you're not going to 6-mana one-sided Wrath, right?
Exactly. Why do things by half?
Yeah. But no, Rakago, I think that would have been a sick line. I thought I had him dead anyway, then I realised that the reason they had animated the land was that they had a colourless creature and a blue creature. We cannot keep this. I'm really enjoying Baldur's Gate 3 at the moment. I want to play more of it, but like I said, I want to play it all on stream. Oh, fucking hell. Do I keep this? Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Like killing the owlbear. When I did the owlbear, I kind of did it solo. So you know the two people and the dead guy, and they're like, help. So I, in my evil playthrough, I convinced them to go and help me kill the owlbear, so they like run in and like distracted it. And then I climbed up onto the craggy rocks and was just blasting it with my divine fire cantrip. And I was stood at a point where the owlbear couldn't jump up to get me, so I just stood above it and just like blasted it to death, which took about an hour because my cantrip is dex save or damage. So if they save, they take no damage. So
what role is this? The cleric.
Yeah, cleric. Yeah.
Huh.
Again, I don't think cleric is like. I honestly think. I think having looked at it, I think the best class to solo is probably Eldritch Knight because you get
is that subclass of wizard or warrior?
Of warrior. So if you fight, if you take
the one that gives you like a blade
spells.
rune and
blade ward,
and because I put up the Githyanki. She's got it. And
Yeah,
jump
so
has been invaluable for her, just jumping over things and like going chests that you see out the corner of your eye and just jump across rivers to get them and stuff.
So jump is really useful for that kind of stuff, and land. But you also want very high strength and very high dex because you want to like cheese stuff. So I think that's the best way to solo it. But I'm working with what I've got, so having to spend a lot of time doing that. But I've just got to a fight where I literally cannot win at the moment. So I think I'm on the verge of giving up.
The problem with soloing in Baldur's Gate 3 in its current state, I think soloing kind of isn't supported in some ways. What the fuck? Oh, this is a new opponent. I thought it was the opponent's last fight. Thoughtseize Death Shadow. What the fuck's going on? The problem at the moment is that you can't like. One of the benefits of going solo before is that you get all the XP, right, in Baldur's Gate 2.
Yes.
So your character becomes high level very quickly, especially if you're a wizard, because high level wizards are like godlike in second and third, right? Yeah. But in Baldur's Gate 3, you're capped at 4 or 5, so getting all that XP doesn't do anything.
You're capped at 4, yeah. So I've already hit level 4.
So yeah, at this point you can't. There's the reason that I was trying to kill those ogres. I just want more XP, which is very metagamey. But there's no point in me doing that. I shouldn't be doing that because you can't get any more XP.
Which is disappointing, but and then it does show a glaring fault of like how they've scaled the game. Because if you're maxed out that point, like or if that's level 4, then everything that happens afterwards needs to scale up because.
Well, arguably they should have, if they knew that the first act was going to be like something that would take you to level 7, they should not have released it before you can get to level 7. But I'm hoping with the next as the updates come, I'm hoping they'll drop like 2 classes in, 5 levels, and like really like the content like pours out. Even if it takes like 2 months, 3 months for us to get there, I hope it's a big chunk. If they release it, it's like, oh, you can go up 1 more level and there's 1 more class, I'm going to be like, huh. I guess one class is huge. That gives you a lot of gameplay options and choices, right?
Yeah,
but like 1 level is nothing. Right? Yeah, well, I guess.
I'd like to see one of the things I really would like to see is more domains for the clerics because they've got at the moment you can only take life, light, or trickery. They have trickery because Shadowheart has it.
Yeah. People were saying in chat that that's such a rarity to see in.
It is, but what it does though is from an alpha gameplay perspective, is it demonstrates the flexibility that clerics will have because one of the issues with clerics in 4th edition and in 5th edition to an extent is that like you are just a walking box of bandages and you only take healing spells, whereas what they're trying to demonstrate is through your Channel Divinity and through your domain spells, which you automatically get and they don't add to your slots, is that you have more versatility with your clerics. I think that's kind of what they're trying to demonstrate. So I'm looking forward to I think playing a fire cleric I think would be really cool because you'd be able to heal and damage people really effectively.
Yeah, because her Channel Divinity stuff doesn't seem some of it doesn't seem functional. Like it doesn't seem applicable.
Yeah, well, her current one is you get advantage to stealth check, so which is good if you're trying to be stealthy.
Have you heard? So people in chat are saying there's a bug where if you cast Pass Without Trace, you automatically like 20. I think you natural 20 on like every roll or something. Like, it's bugged. It was always bugged. At least it was bugged. I don't know if they fixed it or not. Where like past that trace was just basically a cheat mode. And I was like, no, chat, I'm not going to be cheating the game with this fucking cheat mode bug. Sorry.
That's pretty cool.
So there goes our Wisp. They get a death company? God, that's a Warhammer thing. Talking about Baldur's Gate, thinking about Warhammer, playing Magic. Fuck it up. Death Shadow. And then we can path it now.
Yep.
We're going to always know this. I was flying off land, so I think I've lost this match, by the way, chat. That's why I was checking how many basics they had. And we're drawing in a way that doesn't look like we're going to win either. I doubt they got protection spells, so we'll let them swing for 7 and try and pump with another Gore Clan or a... whatchamacallit? 3 dabs. Alright, Jaffa, here we go. Oh! There we go. There's the Battle Rage, right? Say no. And now we just got to draw like a god for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
To Stoneforge Mystic into fucking... yeah, come on. Come on.
Yeah, Vic, lack of level 5 is particularly awkward when like I'm getting multi-attacked on the regular like later on in the game, which is really just unfair.
What does Master Classes get level 5 then in 3rd Ed?
So fighters, paladins, rangers, and they get extra attack.
There we go. I said we're top deck. Oh god, look at this. Yeah, yeet. Just don't draw Thoughtseize, you fuck. Let's get Batter Skull.
We need it. Yeah, you get extra attack. So if you make an attack action, you can attack again, which is very useful and really annoying if you're trying to kill a fucking half-lane ranger who's shooting you twice a turn.
Because yeah, my party in Schult in Tomb of Annihilation, I think, were like level 6 or 7 recently, because the extra attack became like a big thing for them. They felt like they could do so much more. Because we have a ranger and a fighter. Well, we did have a ranger and a fighter. Some of them died. A Wisp would be golden.
Although I'm really enjoying shoving. I've learned shoving is.
I think it's a bit broken, isn't it? Like,
it's hilarious. Like I can shove. I was fighting some Gith, and they're all like level 4, like 48 hit points, and I'm on my own. And I was just like run up. So I was up on this tower thing, and this Gith Misty stepped up in front of me, and then hit me, and it ended the turn. I just shoved him off, and he went from full health to like 10 hit points. I was like, oh, excellent, cool.
Yeah,
blow you up.
They need to fix shoving in some way. And yes, Tim, they've said that every 5th Ed race and class, no, core race in every class, I think. So I don't think you'll get to players like the Akrokan and stuff, the bird people and things, but we'll see. Fine, what the fuck? As long as there are 4 more instants of Sorcery Graveyard, it's a 4-4. Oh, it's that thing. It's got a character tip to cast your library. You may choose one of them. You may play that this turn. Okay.
Baldur's Gate 3 will be broken once multi-classing is released. No, it won't. Baldur's Gate 2 wasn't broken with multi-classing. I doubt this will be either.
Is 5th Ed currently broken with multi-classing? Is that what Algie's suggesting?
No, it isn't. Although, actually, what was it? What? There was a thing. Was that 5th edition?
Blocking.
There was a sort of Warlock Paladin nonsense thing, I seem to recall. Like Hideous Blow, Smite on 1 attack for turn, and you do like 9,000 damage. That was.
We're about to make our opponent fucking miserable when we create a Baneslayer Angel. It's going to be so sweet. Don't pass out a main phase, Vince. Come on. I haven't passed priority. They're thinking, don't pass. My hands are off the keyboard. I so don't want this to happen. Come on, chat. We got this. So we're going to activate Stoneforge Mystic and make a Battle Skull. Doop, doop, doop. In comes the Battle Skull. Then we're going to go vial our Stoneforge Mystic out. Go get a Maul. Next turn, Stoneforge it in. I say vial it in. Stoneforge it in. Put it on the Battle Skull and just start slapping the shit out of them, gaining 6 life every turn, having a first strike, vigilant, flying, lifelink.
Another one.
There's an argument for Fire and Ice. Oh, they just died. They're on 6. Doesn't matter. I'll say there's an argument for Fire and Ice for the card draw, but it doesn't actually matter. Stoneforge comes back. Trigger. Say yes. Grab ourselves a Sky Maul. It's not a hammer, Rob. It's a maul. They're different.
Sorry. Yeah, they are different.
I don't know quite what the difference is.
I can't wield a maul in Baldur's Gate. This is why I want multi-class for Baldur's Gate. So I can take 1 level fighter and have proficiency with martial weapons, because it really bugs me that my cleric can't wield. It's also
on Nerdy Hobby's weird. Like the joke I was about to make is that they've just debuffed Thunder Hammers and 40k, but Power Mauls got buffed. So. Power Maul's got extra strength, and Thunderhammer's got. They lose an AP. Chat is a -2 AP now. I can't remember what the debuff was, but it's annoying because I've got so many guys carrying hammers. It's unreal. I've got a real thing for hammers now. Yeah, just love a good hammer.
Hammers are great.
So they're Death Shadow. They're Jund Death Shadow with quite all in on the powering up their fucking things. Jafar, I don't know if you saw, by the way, your sub did come through, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. Mauls are two-handed and hammer mace is one-handed in D&D. Is a Maul two-handed?
Yep. It's a big warhammer.
I thought Mauls...
Also, in 5th edition, why the fuck is a Morning Star a martial weapon? Fuck that.
Why shouldn't it be?
Because it's always been a simple weapon for clerics to use, so you could use it against zombies and.
So martial weapons are meant to be weapons that like your average layman might injure themselves using, right? That's always the distinction I've always thought.
They require specific training.
Yeah, if you gave me a Morning Star, because a Morning Star is basically a Maul with spike. Oh, we're saying a Maul is a hammer apparently. Heavy long-handed hammer used for splitting logs by driving a wedge. Oh, that's a Maul. Okay, I think in 40k a Maul is like a weighted stick. It doesn't make any sense.
In D&D,
anyway,
it's a rock on the end of a stick.
So Morning Star is the long mace, right? It's a stick with spikes on it.
Morning Star is...
Or is it a ball with
basically,
spikes on
it's a mace with spikes.
There you go. That's a martial weapon, Rob. I would take my own eye out with that.
Yeah, but you take your own out on a dagger, which is also...
No, I wouldn't. You point the pointy end at the enemy and run at them. Daggers are easy.
I was very upset when I discovered that. It was just a totally random drop. Also, it takes forever to find a crossbow. Balls go through. That annoys me, so I like crossbow. Although I am glad that the ammunition is infinite and the magical arrows work in crossbows as well as they do in...
So I bought a wand from a trader. It was called the Arrow of something, thinking it was a magical arrow. Turned out it was a wand. So I still haven't used magical arrows yet. What a fucking waste of money that was. Like, what? It's like a 1d4 of necrotic damage at range as an action. I'm like, wow, cool. It's like a shit bow.
I bought metal gauntlets from the trader in the Druid Enclave.
Just so everyone knows, by the way, I'm going to be risking this for the biscuit. If they thought Caesar Stoneforge were fucked, if we draw more lands, we're probably fucked. We're going to give it a shot. And what did you buy? Gloves?
Yeah, metal gauntlets at the trader in the Druid Enclave. They give you +1 to strength saving throws, right? And I was like, okay, cool.
Not just strength checks, just saving throws.
Just saving throws.
Sounds garbage. I can't throw things at that, Rob.
It's just stop you getting pushed and shoved and that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. They're really expensive, but I cashed in all my money and I bought them anyway. And then the next thing I did was I found the head of the tieflings and killed him, and he was wearing magical gauntlets that did the same thing plus a magic thing. So I was like, for fuck's sake. So I was like, do I reload my save and keep my money, or do I just go and sell the gauntlets back to the guy? So I sold the gauntlets back to the guy, but my reputation had tanked with the tieflings because I killed the leader and he wouldn't give me the money that I gave him for the gauntlets that I had just bought him. Which is very upsetting.
I've got some bugged gauntlets, Rob, but they say when you hit an enemy, they're baned or whatever, right?
You need to read that more carefully.
No, I read it 4 times.
You are not a follower of Gut, and it says be wary of the wielder who does not follow Gut.
Oh, it's in the
if you're a cleric of Gut,
it's in the flavor text. God fucking damn it! Like, it's because the actual tooltip is just the ruling, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, main on attacks. Yeah.
Now I know. Yeah, it was garbage. I put it on and my guy was like just fumbling all over the fucking shop. Like, what are you doing?
I used them to quite effect with my mage, so I would like hit people with the Bane gauntlets with my staff, and then jump away, and then use like magic missile because it doesn't require a check. So it doesn't matter if I'm baned. That worked quite well for a while.
What, in Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah.
Huh.
So because it doesn't matter if you're baned if you do stuff that doesn't require a check. So.
Well, chat, so we know where we're going with this. Our plan is to wisp this out, or just go over the Skyclave, then play our Stoneforge Mystic, and then win. That's our plan. That's why our opponent didn't take this in turn 1, by the way, because they knew they had Torpor Orb coming up. So we want to draw Skyclave Apparition here.
If creatures don't know...
Oh, we can't wisp it, and we can't Skyclave it.
How are you planning on whisking it out?
Oh, fuck, we can't even Skyclave it.
Yeah.
I don't think we have an answer to it, then.
No, we do not.
Shit. That'll teach me to depend upon my ETB creatures. Oh, fuck. We can revoke her. It doesn't do anything, but...
But we can revoke her, yeah. Shit.
Okay. Well,
Time to play our squires.
gotta win through other means. Do we draw a path? We draw another squire. Fuck my old boots. I was looking at putting an artifact removal spell into the sideboard because I was looking at old lists I had, and I used to play either Disenchant's the obvious one, or a copy of this isn't going well, or a copy of the Destroy Artifact of Enchantment and Populate, which I used to play in green and white when you play 4 Blade Slices.
Wild Growth.
No, Sundering Growth.
Sundering Growth. Okay.
Yeah, Sundering Growth was like the Convoke one.
I think Sundering Growth is the Convoke one.
So yeah, and then I was like, nah, we won't need it. What a fucking fool I was. Okay, so we want to rip just like equipment after equipment off the top of our library then to make these stone forces just not terrible.
Yeah.
So a plowshares. Oh, sorry, a path to exile will be good. No, it's not a path to exile. It's like the opposite of a path to exile. We'll just slam some squires for blocking. There is a hybrid mana disenchant now. Yep. It was in Horizons. Was it in Horizons? Was it in? Well, hybrid mana is eternal now, isn't it? I can find it everywhere. It's like sand. Gets everywhere.
Horizons.
They have shocked themselves. This is not good for us. Push 1 Mystic, sure. Yep, sure.
Are they ready for the second Mystic?
Torpor Orb is like kryptonite to Flicker Wisp. Staxy Boy. It's literally like, you know how Batman's got an aversion to like mentioning his parents, and Superman's got an aversion to kryptonite. Yeah, this is the Wisp's equivalent. Green Lantern can't traditionally affect the color yellow. What was the Flash's like traditional Silver Age dumb weakness?
Oh, he had a whole host of bad guys.
A bad guy, sure. Foils and rogues, sure. But I mean, like, what was he weak to? Can't do heroin. That's the Green Arrow, isn't it? Who's like...
It's Speedy. He's doing the drugs.
Yes, chat! Oh! So good at this game. Right, let's fucking do this. Come at me, bruh.
People being faster than him.
Well, that's difficult. Yeah, Humble Zombie. If you look at like Silver Age Green Lantern, no, not Silver Age, Golden Age Green Lantern. Silver Age is...
and Silver Age.
Okay.
They didn't solve it into
both the magical Green Lantern and the Space Cop Green Lantern both used to have the inability to... I think their constructs did not work on yellow, or yellow's made their construct worse. It was some convoluted bollocks. And it's not really been a thing as far as I understand it in current DC canon, although they reset the canon so often, who the fuck knows anymore.
I know this.
Oh, really? Are you reading comics DC at the moment, are you?
No, I know this from old Green Lantern. So I read a lot of Green Lantern when it was Green Lantern and the like Sinestro Corps and...
Oh, sure, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like not anymore. Like Sinestro Corps is like 2 or 3 reboots ago, Rob.
Oh, so right now. So
yeah, we're long gone. But go on, carry on about the Sinestro Corps.
What was I saying? Anyway, I was talking about... Oh, yeah, why yellow?
Because of fear, right?
No, well, yeah. So originally it was just because yellow, and then after Hal Jordan becomes Parallax, he becomes a bad guy in Final Night.
No, Emerald Dawn.
After Emerald Dawn, thank you. Then they retcon it so that Hal wasn't evil. He was possessed by Parallax.
Parallax,
who is the space bug of fear.
Yeah.
And all the colours relate to the emotional spectrum.
Yeah. So at the dawn of time, during the Big Bang, there were creatures or spectral entities, each of which represents or has the power of certain emotions flow through it, right? So Parallax was yellow and fear. The green one is Ion?
Avarice.
Avarice?
The green one's Io, yeah.
Yeah, Ion or Io?
Io.
IO. And then you've got like the other ones for like orange and red and shit. And that's the much further down the line explanation for why yellow was a problem for green. But also the whole there's so much retconning. It might be one of the best examples of like DC going off the deep end for retconning, where they're like, oh, everyone liked Hal Jordan, I guess we'll just pretend he was infected by a space parasite that never existed before. Like, it's a bit like when people get funny about the whole female Space Marine thing. It turns out the only reason they don't sell the female Space Marine models is because in the 80s no one was fucking buying them. So the whole creature thing being like the pre-Big Bang space monster things are really it's quite cheesy and lame, isn't it? Like, because you end up with like a fucking like Power Ranger-esque collection of different lanterns all fighting together, right? You have the Star Sapphires and the Red Lanterns and shit. And yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Very strange. Although I liked Blackest Night, where they had like the black rings.
Yeah, Blackest Night into Brightest Day was okay.
Yeah, because they had all the superheroes who died and came back to life are all like Black Ring sleeper agents, and they all became like undead evil monsters.
Also, on the topic of like how silly and cheesy the spectrum of energy light core thing is. In all fairness, a lot of those, I think probably all of them probably were references that someone like Jeff Johns or Grant Morrison pulled back from the past. Like, so for example, the Star Sapphires have existed in like Green Lantern comics since the 60s, right? Which is just the pink lady lanterns. It's only in recent
was
years,
always yellow.
Yeah, exactly. So they've only recently gone, oh, Sinestro's yellow because he's part of a different core, and the Star Sapphires are actually the pink core that is love and lust and shit. So it's only them explaining stuff like, it's the same way that Grant Morrison loves to go back, and Mark Miller, and grab random shit from like Spider-Man's history or Wolverine's history or Batman's history, and like just go out of their way to retcon it into like why it exists. Like, there is I'm gonna mulligan this hand. There is a bit where Batman is like psychologically broken in Batman Rip, and like one of his like his protections triggers, which is like whenever he is psychologically broken down, he will revert to the Batman of Zaran-Thurur. Have you seen this, Rob? So Batman of Zaran-Thurur was a space Batman from a planet called Zaran-Thurur back in like the 60s. And what Grant Morrison did was like, he's pretended that actually Batman of Zaran-Thurur was actually like a fever dream that Bruce once had when he was ill. So he then uses that persona as a way for him to shut down and forget everything about like the Batcave, the Bat family, and everything, so he can't be compromised. So when like Thomas Wayne, which just turns out it's not Thomas Wayne, but this evil villain character in Batman Rip breaks him down, he snaps and becomes the Batman of Zaran-Thurur. He puts on a purple suit that he's got hidden somewhere in Gotham with yellow tights, and he's just running around like a 60s villain with a baseball bat, just beating the shit out of people. And like everyone's like, well, I think Alfred knows. Alfred's like, oh no, he's been broken. It's the Batman of Zaran-Thurur. And it's like, but the Batman of Zaran-Thurur is dumb, but Grant Morrison is doing it on purpose. He's almost mocking this thing where they go, instead of like getting away from the yellow weakness, we're gonna like explain it away with some bollocks. Like Grant Morrison does it all. Like Mark Miller does it in Old Man Logan, when he just randomly brings back the spider car. Yeah? You've read Old Man Logan, right? Yeah, so Wolverine needs to get across the Grand Canyon, so they introduced the Spider Car, which is a car that was in like 2 issues of Spider-Man in the 60s or 70s. It's just dumb shit like that. So that's cool. That's fun.
That is fun. It's like, what's the one I like from Spider-Man? Stegron.
Stegron, what is that?
Stegron is a guy who lived in the middle of the jungle, and he found a way to splice dinosaur DNA into humans to make like human dinosaur. Is that
now the Savage Lands? Has that been changed to Savage Lands now, is it?
I believe he might have come to Savage Lands. So he originally appeared in a team up with Black Panther, so it is entirely
of course, I see, right.
But basically the only reason why he exists and why any of this happens is because I think it was Len Wein who was writing the story, the team up story, wanted to have started with the title Dinosaurs on Broadway, and he wanted that to be the title of the comic, and then everything else spun up from there. And then what happens to Stegron is that he gets at the end of the story in the 2-comic arc, he gets knocked into the big lake that's in the middle of Central Park, and then it freezes over. And he was there for years, and then eventually, like, he broke out and was in like a whole load of other like Spider-Man stories. And there's this wonderful, I think it's him, where he has this line where he's like, "But you have the power to cure cancer. Why don't you do it?" And he's like, "I don't want to cure cancer. I want to make giant dinosaur monsters," or something like this. It's wonderfully ridiculous, and it all comes from this like silly.
That's like it's like top-down design, right? Like, we'll start with a name or the theme and work backwards. Unfortunately, it didn't come out to be one of the classics.
Exactly, because a man with like, it's just the design of Stegosaurus is hilarious. Like the original design, he's like his man who looks like a Stegosaurus. Like of all the dinosaurs,
I was going to say, I don't know if the name sounds like Stegosaurus, or if this guy appears in some cartoon that I've watched at some point, or maybe like Ultimate Alliance as a side character. Because I feel like I'm familiar with this character, but I didn't know about dinosaurs on Broadway. But it might be just me thinking I've heard of it when I haven't. They took our Thalia, fine, whatever. See if I care. Just gonna pass the turn back. I love mulliganing into 5 and getting Thoughtseize.
Yeah, isn't it the best?
And wizards are like, oh, we can't. No, Blood Moon and Chalice. They're evil magic cards, but we'll keep printing this. Like, okay.
It's necessary. It keeps combo in check.
Well, I think it does, but I think it's weird.
It also keeps everything else in check and fucks Mulligan. Like, there must be better ways to keep combo in check.
It's the fact that they don't like any other like prison strategies or whatever. What would my weakness be? I don't know. My superpower would probably just be shouting about dicks on the internet. That's my superpower. It's not very useful.
I don't know. Bad Indian food kind of knocks you out, doesn't it?
I don't know. I think I've got quite a resilient gut. I mean, I'm always in a constant state of being fucked up a little bit. So it's like, it doesn't affect me. I'm just on an even keel of dysentery.
That's my secret, Cam.
I'm always shitting. Sure. So they know we've got Thoughtseize. They took the Thalia, probably because they didn't have the second land, but now they've got it. We've cracked 3 bobs now.
Is Thoughtseize the force of will of modern?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Doesn't.
My weakness is people being twats on Twitter. I don't know. If that was my weakness, I'd probably be long dead. I got told I wasn't liberal enough yesterday. No, I am a liberal, because liberal means a specific thing to certain people. So I got criticised for being a liberal yesterday, Rob, but not in the, like, you're an SJW cuck way that I sometimes get on the internet. I wasn't left enough. I'm not commie enough, Rob.
Oh, I see.
That happened yesterday.
You're not tearing down society. You're just trying to rebuild it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Because I'm not punching billionaires with a knife. I don't know. It was a very strange experience. It was kind of like comical.
Yeah, I mean, it must be refreshing, get hit from a different side of the
One tweet response was, you've made it, Vince. One side's calling you a commie and the other side's calling you a liberal. It's like, I guess that is it.
You are the definition of centrist.
Yeah, I'm not no fucking way.
Oh, see, that's the irony, right? Like,
yeah. Well, someone else was like, so do you vote Lib Dem? I'm like, I'd rather shit in my own mouth than vote Lib Dem. What the fuck are you on about? Where's your hammer and sickle, bro? Do you even collectivise agriculturists? Like, yeah, exactly. I made a joke that I'm not masturbating to pictures of Stalin enough, and someone told me I was being unfair. I don't think I am. Right. Cool. Let's dodge this Thoughtseize. I'm going to play the sword first because that means that every creature we draw is a threat.
Yep.
Yep. Do you even collectivise agriculture? Do you even believe in the party? I guess, I don't know. It was fucking strange. But every other day I'm surprised at the shit that I get on the internet. And I'm a white cis male, so I get it fucking easy. After the Warhammer video and the amount of shit I got, like, via you fucker, DMs and emails and shit. It gave me a new perspective on people who have to put up with this shit a lot. Like,
people emailed you?
Yeah, I got emails about it. I got 4chan threads about it. I got tweets, direct messages, comments. It was pretty bad. But like I said, it just gave me a new perspective on people who get this all the time. Like, women and people of minorities and stuff. They get it way worse than I do. So I was just like,
I really hope that nobody in the chat needs to hear this. But
don't do this.
If you've ever thought about doing it for whatever reason, just don't do it. Because either A, you're going to hurt someone's feelings, or B, more importantly, just don't give a shit. Do better things than
no, I was listening to you, Robert. I meant to follow this and equip the sword and I fucked it up. It doesn't matter. We'll equip next turn. No, what you saying was important. Just do it there. So Pikachu, that's a badge of honour for normies. I mean, so it's not a badge of honour for non-normies? I wouldn't say I'm a normie. But, it was one thread on the poll board and one thread on the traditional games board. The fact that I made it to poll was quite fucking bizarre. Oh no, that punt really fucked me.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
No, that was not in your... It's my fault that I can't listen to you, Rob, and use my Aether Vial at the same time. Okay? We're going to draw a 3-drop now. So yeah, so like I said, it was eye-opening, because like the way it made me feel, I was like, fucking hell, so I'm gonna have to deal with this. Like, I mean, I always get shitty comments. Like, a constant stream of shitty comments is just the norm, but not to that extent. The Warhammer community like has some pretty fucking bad people in it. Yeah, damn you, Rob, for being left leading. Are you left enough, Rob? Are you left enough?
I'm leaning as far as I can without falling out of the chair.
I mean, Stim, to be fair, I made a misplay, as it were, with that video. I was calling them fucking morons and idiots throughout, so I don't think I'm being, as much as it's funny to say it that way, I'm being serious. I think if I had been a bit more softly, I probably would have won more people round to the idea that we can be inclusive within a game and still enjoy it. The fact that I started out by calling them like neckbeards and incels just resulted in them being like, well, fuck you, man. Like, it turned them off. Like, I've talked about this before, like, I don't feel like telling every young toxic man who is like a toxic young man who is being a shit, telling them they're just a toxic man, just saying that doesn't solve the issue. Just
well,
what I mean?
Like, the thing. It's like nobody ever is that in their own head, right? Like,
exactly.
It's like nobody likes being called racist because in their mind they're not racist, right? It's just like you can't just call people that label and expect them to just accept the same perspective, cultural kind of contract that you do, because they clearly don't share it, because otherwise it would be saying the things
on a slight magic related note. Shouldn't have played the land. Should have pretended I had something in the vial. But I fucked this game already. Did we lose the first game? We won the first game, lost the second. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to run and get water very quickly and then continue this conversation.
I also need to run and get water.
So we'll go to a quick away break. I'm not going to play the away music though, because it tends to mute the stream on YouTube, which is really fucking annoying. When I upload it. But you are, just to like not shut down that point, but yeah, I think we're on the same page with that, in the sense that if I'd been more, not gentle, but there's a difference between gentle and just being like open. I didn't open a conversation. I just berated a lot of people who were being petulant man-children, but that's not how you get people to stop being petulant man-children.
Yeah, it's as much catharsis for you as it is ammo for them, right?
Yeah, I guess I just sort of think I was in a bad mood when I made it, and also I did say on my Discord, I think I got a bit hard on this. I could have easily been softer, I guess.
Mm. Well, you've burned your bridges now, so you can say whatever you like. So there is a plus.
Another one.
I don't know if I've burnt my bridges. I mean, open bridges up. Like I've had conversations with other members of the Warhammer community, like on YouTube and stuff, thanks to it. So yeah, I mean. You win some, you lose some. And if I'm losing racists and people claiming that I'm ruining their white safe space or whatever the fucking term they used was, then perhaps I'm the one that's winning, right?
Yeah, but I mean, in the bigger picture, isn't it better to not create canyons, but to build bridges? Like, you don't want to push people away, bring them in.
Yeah,
convert them,
I agree.
Like Borg. It's better to be the Borg, right? Let people forget that they had their own
resistance
ways
is futile.
of thinking.
Yeah, no, monopolizing. I'm not. That's like a paraphrase of one of the 4chan threads. I'm not even fucking kidding. Yeah, but no, I think you're right, Rob. I think we have it in Magic a bit, but we don't have it as much as we have in Warhammer. You will see it in Warhammer. Is that if someone, I guess in some ways I've got a unique space where I am, where I'm a beardy white dude. So some of the people who only want to listen to beardy white dudes are more likely to engage with me. And then when I guess I'm probably quite obvious when I'm like shouting about how much I fucking hate Nigel Farage or like saying trans rights or human rights and shit like that. It probably turns off some of them very quickly. But the ones that are on the fence, instead of pushing them away by calling them a fucking moron, I should probably try and get them to see some fucking sense in being inclusive. But there's also, so here's the weirdest bit. So that we've said that, we both agree. I'm going to move on for that. But the weirdest thing about the Warhammer community right now and tabletop gaming, I don't know if it extends to D&D or not, because I haven't really interacted with people in the D&D sphere in terms of like comments and stuff. But there is a thing where they believe that they're using the term gatekeeping in a positive way. They're saying that they need to gatekeep to keep like the inverted commas riffraff out. And I think we can all read between the lines and like hear the dog whistle what the riffraff is, right? And it's
man. Yeah, but also I've heard that in so many other spaces.
What like hashtag keep gatekeeping sort of thing?
Yeah, so people who say like, oh, people are being elitist about it, right? They don't want to let people in because they don't want the shit. There's an argument. There's a corollary argument about this, with whether or not opera should be sung in English or in their original languages or not.
Yeah, but I think as much as I don't like that elitism, I think I can forgive that. Where I think they're talking about women and minorities more so than the commoner. I think that's where that's coming from.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So one of those things I can perhaps forgive. I can roll my eyes at the idea that they don't want the common, like some opera fan doesn't want the common folk listening to opera. I can roll my eyes and dislike that heavily. But like that's worlds away from what these people are going on about when they talk about hashtag, and I mean it, hashtag keep gatekeeping. I'm literally reading like, what the fuck are these people smoking? Like how much? It's fucking wild. It's fucking wild. But maybe I shouldn't engage with it. Maybe it's like, well, I don't fucking know. They don't want fake gamer girls from invading their spaces and taking attention away from genuine fans of the communities. Exactly, Sejin. But the point, and I think you mean this as well, is that the fake gamer girls they're referring to is just a label they use to ostracize or other people coming in, right? Like it's not a real thing.
Yeah, I think I know more women who play Warhammer than I know men who play Warhammer. Like,
say again?
Looking through my Twitter feed, I think there are more women on my Twitter feed that play Warhammer than men that do. Like,
I mean, I don't know if in the general player base, but I see what you mean about the community. But I think when the hate comes out, it galvanizes people to actually like step up and show that they're there, which I think is a good thing.
I think these days it does, but it's the thing. It's like with the Magic. What Magic used to be like 5 years ago, right? It's just like it's such an expensive hobby in the first place. It's so hard to get into. Going to events is a huge investment. Why the fuck would you put all that money and effort and time in if you're going to turn up and get abused constantly? Like that,
yeah.
That's one of the big things. One of the early, really good pieces about like women in Magic was about, as I recall, it was about like what's the point in doing this? Like, why should I?
Get out of it, yeah.
So you can't even dip your toe in without getting pounced on. Like, how does Wizards of the Coast who are in charge of this game? How do they combat that issue? Because there's a point where it's beyond the community effort. If that's the obviously the community does a lot to kind of help create the good community that people want, but there's
the companies in charge definitely have an obligation, like just even something as simple as representation to make people feel like it's worth it. Because I think about it as well, if you're going to events or trying to engage the community in a game that you like and you love, and people are being shitty towards you, and then you're not even represented there either. Representation is obviously important, but it feels like a small gesture compared to actually making real spaces safe. But that's coming from someone who's always been represented, so maybe I'm wrong there. But like even stuff like that, the companies are definitely have to do these things. We see it with Wizards at the moment. Wizards are being held accountable a lot for their internal practices, right? Mm-hmm. But the only problem with that is that we don't have enough transparent information for me to. I have no doubt that they're being shitty behind the scenes, but there's not enough transparent information for me to point and be like, well, look. Which is frustrating. What's been virtue signaling instead of doing anything to encourage tolerance? I agree to some extent. I mean, I hate the term virtue signaling. I don't think you're using it in bad faith here, but I think that term is often used by people who are just being fucking shits, right? But I get what you mean. I think it's a lot of tokenistic gestures. We've seen it, right? We've seen it with the erasure of Chandra Nissa. They'll sell your Pride t-shirts, but they won't they won't even leave them as like potentially gay. They had to like literally kill the relationship through explicitly badly written fucking fiction. It's like
it's canon, Vince. Canon is
that's really interesting actually, because like with Warhammer they're all obsessed with this idea that Primarchs are all men and it's a Gene Seed clone. Like women can't be it. They can't be it. It says it in the law. Like the law fucking changes, and as we said about the comic book thing is a good example of this. The reason the Green Lanterns fight against the Sinistra Corps, whose elder demon god space elemental thing is yellow, is because of some fucking random choice a random writer made in the 60s, now justifying it now. It's the same for why there's no women space marines. It's because they didn't sell in the 80s, so they just like fucking like just faffed about and made up a reason for it. All these things can change. Law and canon can fluidly change, and perhaps it should. And this is the bit they hated me for saying, and let's say, don't change the canon. You can have something like you can have your female space marines, but don't you dare change the storylines. And I'm thinking, you get left behind by the times, buddy. Like eventually, it's going to change. Like they can do Deus Ex Primaris into the law. We can have women's space. Exactly. 2 of the Primarchs are missing, and we don't know what they look like. Right? Fucking hell. Just catching up with chat a bit. It's hard to look genuine when you're reaming your customers for all they can. Yeah, play Daddy Nurgle. Wizards are they're making money.
Wizards definitely has that. Yeah, it's the veneer. It's do as absolutely little as possible to satisfy the player base, so they'll keep buying the product, and then just keep milking those cows.
I wrote the most difficult criticism of Wizards tweet I've ever made today because it just makes me feel a bit unwell. I'll talk about this very quickly before I grab a drink as well. I said, can I get... I'll just snip that so I don't randomly show things I don't want to show, like DMs or addresses and shit. So I said, where are we? That is not what I want to do.
I saw this.
So I said, am I missing something? $30 to Wizards for the Ghost and $30 to Extra Life. So they make the normal profit on a secret lair. If I sold t-shirts as part of my charity drive this year, which by the way, there will be a charity drive in December. I'll talk more about that closer to the time. I don't know who I'm going to do yet. I might do it. I don't know. I'm not going to say who I might do because I don't do them, but we'll talk about that. Get 50% of the sale price. People would rightfully call me out on this. What gives? And as Melinda from my Discord said, actually, I think this is the case for International Women's Day, which I bought that secret lair for because I like the cards and wanted to support a good cause. And it was true. There's 25 for Wizards and 25 for the charity. And the point I'm getting at is that it's kind of like ends justifies the means backwards, right? I know the ends are with funding charity, but it just feels very fucking shady to make so much profit off of a charity drive. And it feels a bit...
I don't know about that. I mean, 5p of your purchase goes towards X thing. For every 2,000 bog rolls you buy, we'll plant a tree. Like, it's always like, it's tokenistic. It's to make you feel like you're doing something so that you don't accidentally tell your government that the main cause of the problem is the companies themselves.
But I mean,
it's the same with. But
that secret lair could easily have just been $30, right? So that Wizards are making the exact same profit they were making before. It's not a charitable. I mean, maybe I shouldn't expect anything better of a company. I guess is probably where I'm coming. What I need to learn from this. But them making the same amount of money.
If they do it and nobody bats an eyelid, and you do it and people call you out on it, all that says is that you've got a more ethical audience.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess people. I thought people weren't saying it. A lot of people were agreeing and calling out anyway. I had one guy tell me that I was being like, just finding any old reason to rib Wizards. I'm like, no, I just think this is fucking a bizarre practice. I mean, maybe you're right, actually. So I'm looking for input here to understand, because it's all very fresh. I don't know really where I stand on it. And Rob, you're right, because you see it all the time, like, 5p of this pound will go towards something, and that's like 95% profit as opposed to like 50. But I guess at the same time they've like jumped the price to $60 when that could have been sold at 30. That secret lair. I mean, people are saying hypothetically it could have been 40 or 50, but sure, any secret lair could hypothetically be 30 or 40. They're literally printing fucking money at this point. How about instead of spending $6 for magic cards, send $30 to charity and fuck what's exactly like? It's just
another one.
It could have been a 5. Yeah, I don't know. And someone else is like, oh, what about the cost of production? Like, they produce and make profit when it's $30. Surely it's not $30 to just... There's no way that's the cost of those
things. The margins
things.
are that thin. Like,
the margin is fucking huge. Come on. And then, I didn't know this when I started out, and if it had developed the other way, I would have to hold Ultra Pro accountable as one of my sponsors and stuff. Apparently, they're 75% split. Like, 75% goes to charity and less to them. Like, which is way more where I think it would be. But again, I'm like, is that...
If you're truly doing charitable stuff,
turning a profit is not
you take enough to cover your costs, so you don't see that way your business doesn't go under in your activity, and the rest of it goes to charity, and then what you bank is positive reputation for your next big marketing event. That is why you should give to charity if you're a business. Like, there are more benefits to doing charitable activity than just the bottom line. There's no need for Wizards to be, they can bank off this when they can do something that's brilliant and we will cheer about it, make a load of positive energy, and then be really enthusiastic about the next thing they do and just buy it wholesale. Like,
yeah.
But
they're having their cake and eating it, right? They're making huge amounts of profit off the product and getting the goodwill of, like, look how charitable we're being.
Yeah, and all you need to do, if you don't like it, is give $30 to charity, fuck Wizards off, as somebody in the chat just said, and make sure Wizards know.
Yeah, that's the other bit in
vote with your wallet, isn't it?
Because Magic players don't vote with their wallets historically. They go for whatever the best EV line is. If has said, so the Prof asked some questions and people are like, no, Prof, they get so it's tax deductible for them on the other side as well. So this is potentially more profitable than a normal secret lair. At which point I'm like, why don't they just fucking... It is charity and the ends are good, but the means are definitely greedy. I don't know. And the thing is, I don't like this. Like, I was writing about how I've always found the idea of mythic rarity fucking shit today. I was recording and editing that concept up. And I was like, and then I got off it and I was like, I'm looking forward to playing some Magic. I'm enjoying Magic lately. And then I see that, and I'm just like, I don't do this on purpose. Like, people keep accusing me on Twitter and comments of like fucking going for the clicks and the views, and of course I do go for clicks because my job is to cultivate clicks. That's literally what I have to do to survive. But the point is, I'm not doing it by being angry at Magic. Like, I fucking love Magic. I don't want to constantly have this like this is like a sinking feeling of seeing a company that runs the best game, the best game in the world, just being fucking greedy bastards. And the thing is, it's not even. This is something I talk about in the video that'll come out later this week or next week. It's not even the individuals. Like, I don't like it. Like, I think Gavin Verhey is a very nice person. I think he's great for the company, and he was the one revealing this morning on his channel and stuff that he's set up and things. It's not the individual people. I feel like a lot of this is higher up. You see it all the time where they've got to write articles and go on stream and justify like fucking bizarre decisions. We see it time and time again. But again, that's their job. So they have to justify the decisions of a corporate
All these
entity.
things do come down to individuals. It's just individuals that you never see or have heard.
Yeah, but it's almost certain that the people being the public facing people are the people making decisions that then they know are going to get them in the shit, right?
Yeah, well, it's the person who's just like, right, we're going to do this, and it's going to make my green bar go to the very top, and it's going to be brilliant. So if somebody has had a really good day when they thought of that idea, and they've been patted on the back for the brilliant idea, and all going off to the pub afterwards and feeling that they did a really good job, it's their equivalent of making the Innistrad there, right? And all they've done is decided a way to make more money for the company. Like, it's all about like.
Do you remember when like making a good fucking game, board game, expansion, video game, whatever was the way to make the money? It wasn't fucking DLC. I mean, this makes me sound like a fucking old man, I know this, but DLC, horse armor, fucking loot boxes. I mean, Magic's always been a loot box, arguably, but do you know what I mean? Do you remember when like Half-Life 2 would come out and the biggest concern was that you had to install Steam, but the game was actually like this incredible product? I mean, it was argued that I didn't.
I do remember that. I do remember.
A game comes out, Medal of Honor Assault comes out, and you install it, and you're blown away because it's a phenomenal video game, and there's no concern about what the roadmap is, what the DLC is. There's going to be an expansion or two, which you'll probably ignore because EA expansions were known for being money grabbing back then. Armor for your horse. That was Oblivion, wasn't it? That was where it all began. Like,
It's a bit old man soapboxy, I've got to admit.
It is, but it's true. I mean, I think
you're not evolving with the times. That
is what Anders Borsvig's MTG just said in the chat, and they're right. It's that business models weren't as optimized back in the day. There wasn't the apparatus
is. No, we've got, and I've seen this a lot in the things I work at work. It's just like people, the structure and the mental thinking, the mental constructs people have in their minds about business are still the same as they were 40 years ago, and now and not enough businesses are like responding in a way that is A, reflective of today's society, and B, uses all the means that we have to a greater and more effective advantage. That you don't need to be doing what wizards do every day in order to make an excellent card game. Like, there are other means of doing it. There are other avenues you could take, but if it's difficult because you've got so much inertia in a company that's so old.
But arguably, the people working at WotC who designed the game are the ones with the old approach. They're making top-down set design, or they want to, like Innistrad worked, or they want to design a set like previously. It's the new models, the new methods that are being brought in by Hasbro that the players like me, I'm sat here bitching about, right? That's the new bit. Like Secret Lair is the new.
It's only new to Wizards of the Coast. The thinking is old.
What?
Like, just because they're new to Wizards doesn't mean they haven't been doing that same thing somewhere else for someone else.
Sure. Like I guess these Hasbro execs are probably like from the baseball cards and shit, from the looks of things. Like, that's the models that we're seeing, right?
Exactly. But what I would say about WotC and all the horrible things that they are doing to Magic is that it is propping up D&D, which is the way that it's approaching its marketing and the way that it's doing its stuff, I think is a way that really works. And not, is it going to be sustainable? ? But it engages with the community in the right way. It creates exciting, interesting products that people want to buy. Yeah, okay, the models are a bit shit, but
they really are.
There's some work to do there, but like all the special edition versions are all really good, exciting. They sell like gangbusters, which is no different from mythic rares or shiny shiny cards.
A bit of a tangent in some ways, but it's interesting that you talk of it like that. That Magic might be propping up D&D in some ways, even if the things they're doing are relatively nefarious.
D&D,
of course, it has for years, sure. But what I'm getting to is like when I was chatting to a GW employee recently, they said whenever anyone bitches about Lord of the Rings, they didn't say it in these words, but what the sentiment was when people used to bitch and moan about the Lord of the Rings game and how it was drowning out Warhammer and like, the noughties, right? Because Games Workshop got the Lord of the Rings license and then just started like going fucking ham on Lord of the Rings. Do you remember that? Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, every one of our age remembers this, right? And apparently, like, you know, I can remember like kids and teenagers and stuff being like, "Oh fuck Lord of the Rings! I want my actual Warhammer stuff." But he said that game, that Lord of the Rings game, even if it's not that popular anymore and stuff, that bought you new printing presses, that bought you new model machines, that bought you the new tech and the investment and made the company what it is today. So in many ways, people who still bitch and moan about Lord of the Rings to the noughties from Games Workshop were like, actually, you wouldn't have the Warhammer you have now and shit without that. And it's interesting because that's kind of a parallel to what you're saying. No matter how nefarious Magic gets, as long as it keeps your beloved D&D going, I guess there's a silver lining there in some ways. But right, I'm gonna grab some water, and then we'll get on with the last round. Right, back in
Yes,
second
I
chat.
also go grab water. Back.
I am back too. We'll switch for our last round then. Let's see if we can get 3-2. So getting off my soapbox and talking more practical about why games are the way they are now, is that I think it's bloat. So the AAA games industry, for example, like we all know there's problems with that. Looking at like how my content's gone, where I have to put out more content than I ever did when I wasn't full-time. Even though I've got more time, I still feel like precious to get things out and stuff. So like there'll be mistakes in my videos. There was a mistake. There's a video I put out last week where there was meant to be an Ultra Pro logo on screen at one point. It just didn't appear. I was like, fuck! I've literally like either put it out of alignment or flopped them the wrong way around or whatever on the editor. And what I'm getting at is that as projects get more and more complicated, they can have issues, and that's what we see with video games now, where they release with like day one patches and shit, because they're huge projects with like hundreds, if not thousands, of people in the case of like Ubisoft and stuff working on games and shit, and they get bloated. And that's one of the problems we have with like mass-produced big media more so than smaller media. So that's one of the reasons why we're at where we are. So
I think one of the things is that like the cost of games and like economic troubles we've had over the last sort of 10 years have not made buying a single video game that takes so much crunch to do, as you say, it's not worth making them anymore. So you need to find other revenue streams within your game, and in addition to the initial purchase.
Well, like bloated budgets, right? They have to make back their budgets. They do it through like
exactly.
microtransation shit.
The other thing that I think is driving a lot of this is it's just simple technology. We can now, if we were able to do micropayments and different skins for our pixelated models back in the Atari 2600 times, they would have done it. Like, it's just a simple fact. Like, the opportunity is there, so people will eventually they will get there. Now with technology, with server technology and cloud storage and all processing and all that kind of stuff, all enables this kind of thing. And you can either choose to invest it in exciting new hardware and make it all cheaper for everybody, or you can put it into the experiences and then make the games more profitable and more interesting. So...
But again, that doesn't excuse some of the shit we see where games have become like a fucking service, and sometimes those services don't really have the value in them. They're just like,
it's because it's all new, right? So micropayments in particular, like that was a new thing that came out of social media games, and they need to know how far they can push their luck.
Oh yeah, our opponent is on 8crab or Mill, as it's more popularly known. No, I agree, Rob, but I also don't think it excuses like the way EA or Ubisoft monetize their games and shit. Like there are plenty of companies that give you enough value for what you're doing, where there's other ones that are using like fucking, I mean, we see it with Magic and Arena a little bit, confusing shop faces, dodgy, like fucking, it's all the psychological tricks they've all learned, right? Because this is all technology, not in a literal like robotic sense of machinery, but tech where they know how to manipulate an audience now. Like, none of that gets excused by it being new.
Yeah. Well, I was referring more to like the older, before people started calling them out for the was it Battlefront 2 and those kinds of things where like they really took the
Fallout
piss.
76 was playing Daddy Nurgle, like put in the chat. That's a good example of it being a fucking hot garbage fire of a mess, right?
Yeah, and it's like the thing they talk about in that documentary everyone was talking about. It's about how, and it's something that people talk about for a long time, is that
sorry, just to point out to everybody, they just said called my Batterskull.
That would be a misclick. So they go for the path, right?
Maybe it's in case we have another Batterskull, or maybe they think we have a terrorist. Who the fuck knows? Very strange. Very strange.
Is that...
And they also didn't extract it, so I think they might be new to Modo. Okay. They like targeted it and chose not to take it. Interesting line. Interesting line.
Maybe just wanted to look at your dick.
But so I'm not opposed to the way
human psychology doesn't advance as fast as technology does. So we don't evolve fast enough to avoid the psychological tricks that people put into technology
100%.
to put it in front of our faces. What happens at the end of that line of things that keep going is one of two things. Either A, we take a stance to not advance it. B, three options. B, the robots take over, or C, we get the end of Mass Effect. Because that was the whole point of the Reapers in Mass Effect, was that like technology gets to a point where it surpasses life, and it just takes you out, and it gets faster than you are. And we're at that
conversation we had, didn't we? We talked about the fears of AI, right? And the idea that they efficiently like make paperclips so efficiently that they murder us all, because that's the most efficient way to create paperclips. Remember that conversation we had? Mm-hmm. It's that all over again, right? Like, yeah. But the beginnings of it
every day is in, and it's starting in society makes us much more aware of it than if it had started in technology, right? Because if all this micropayment stuff and like all the things that drive all of our modern conveniences, if all of that sat in manufacturing, you'd never know it was going on until way down the line. But because there's so much profit and opportunity to be made by exploiting people's lack of ability to avoid Skinner box techniques and the psychological tricks that everybody that people play on each other, it's down to what starts as a few opportunists, and then people see the line, and then everybody goes for the EV, right? So like everybody's a Magic player.
So the argument really is that capitalism is the issue, right? Like if there was no need for profit, you could opt to take the morally superior line, which is not to abuse psychological tricks or nefarious methods. Fucking even just the basics.
We have no value. We have no way to provide equal value on positive societal impact as we do for positive commercial impact.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you could monetize positive feeling, then we'd all be better.
You can. It's called sex. Sex is positive. That was meant to be.
Actually, yeah,
I should
actually
have.
right.
I should have probably framed that more as more of a joke. I was also thinking about cracking a Rising canopy and did not deliver that very well. You can, Rob. Feeling good is sex time. And yeah, you can monetize that, can't you? But yeah. I mean, I guess we're just reciting stuff that most people. I took a piss out of Magic players for this the other day, didn't I? Where everyone's always like, "Oh, capitalism's so bad." Like, yeah, everyone fucking knows. Okay, like it's not great. It sucks, but.
Yeah, see, that's the problem, right? So, like, identifying the issue only gets you so far, and sitting there moaning about it endlessly on the internet.
Hey, that's my job, Rob. I'm sorry.
Doesn't help anybody. The question we need to be asking ourselves is, what can we do about it? Like, once you're in,
are we
once
all
you're
just
halfway
fucking
through the quicksand, how do you dig yourself out?
Do I want to take out this head-on crab for a turn? They can crack this in my turn. They play a lamp for a turn.
I don't think we lose. I think we gain enough. Resetting our our Stoneforge might be better.
We have to do it before they mill us, though, ideally. But on the topic of what League does in terms of in-game currency and stuff, the rune page thing was taken away a long time ago. So you used to have to pay to have like access to rune pages before you started your match. That used to be like the big thing they monetized in terms of like pay to win. Nowadays it's just champs, but that's exactly the same. It's no different to like Magic and Magic cards and wild cards and stuff. Like it's the same thing. By seizing the means of production, says Peach Garden. I know, I don't know. This is where I'm not left leaning enough, right? Where I don't know if I don't see a revolution that will fucking work, which is the depressing thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, call me somebody who puts too much faith in human beings, but I've always been more of a fan of enlightened despotism myself.
What do you mean?
Well,
despotism? Yeah. I don't understand that.
So enlightened despotism is like Catherine the Great was in.
I should have took a land there, by the way, chat. I clicked the wrong thing, but never mind. Carry on, Bob.
So Catherine the Great is an enlightened despot, and Frederick the Great, they're both enlightened despots. So what they did was they were absolute supreme rulers, but they made very positive impact on people's lives. So, like for example, Catherine the Great, she got 1 million other people inoculated against smallpox by getting inoculated herself first to demonstrate that it was dangerous.
Removal, fuck them. That's not what we wanted. Carry on.
And then encouraging and driving a program to get and modernizing Russia.
Another one.
And
at a time where it was very stalwart.
Why did they do that?
One person because she thought it was best for our country. That's the point of enlightened despot, is that they have a moral imperative to improve the lives of their people. That's the idea, anyway. Obviously, the downside of it is it's got the word despotism in the name. So you have to have one person making the decisions. So provided that person is somebody sensible, there is no problem. That's why I say call me a person who puts a little bit too much faith in people.
But that's how democracy says will work, right?
No, because democracy is will of people. The people.
Yeah.
The democracy as written is why we've got a shit Tory government.
We don't know. We've joked about this before, where I'm like, I don't even know if democracy works anymore. Like, fucking hell. Like if Trump doesn't get voted out, like what? Just my faith is diminished, an all-time low. So yeah, maybe I agree with you. Maybe I just want somebody to hold me close, tell me it's all going to be alright, and make every single decision for society for us. Maybe that's all I want.
Did you listen to that episode of Behind the Bastards where they were talking about the war games that they ran for the presidential election, and about how like the models that they ran were either
is that a new episode or an old episode?
It's new-ish this year.
Wow,
this is so old.
I'm still not at the point where I talk about coronavirus being a modern thing. Like that's how I'm still so far, because like there is like 500 episodes or whatever. So no, I haven't heard this one yet.
Okay, yeah. So they do this with that. So basically, they people in the American government or college or something, they basically war gamed what the 2020 election would be like, and all the simulations that they ran, like in the very small chance it was a Biden like landslide victory, it would either be a Trump victory or it would be minor enough of a win for Biden for Trump just to say the vote was rigged and just stay in power. Which then leads to civil war.
That's the big fucking fear, right now.
Yeah. So that's worrying.
I'm only going off opinion polls, Stim, more so than whatever the actual correct strategy to beat him is. I won't even pretend to have any idea on what that could be. I also, perhaps I'm being like Rob here, we're trying to have some faith in human beings for like voting the right way. Didn't he like fail miserably in the polls for old people? Wasn't that the big thing? Wasn't that the thing that was the shocker? Because before he was like polling very well with old people. Also, polls can be complete fucking nonsense as well. I'm fully aware of that.
Polls don't mean polls that secure votes. What's the guy?
Arnold Schwarzenegger? Sorry,
no.
I was just guessing a random guy. I was not necessarily.
There was a very famous election in America where they printed the newspaper that the guy would win, and basically they went around saying like everybody knows that this guy is going to win the election, and then nobody voted for him because they assumed he was going to win, and then he lost. And
maybe they should do that this time round.
Yeah, Dewey beats Truman. Thank you, Pikachu. Yeah, that's a very famous American election where people, where polls, essentially it was polls because it was all basically people were told that somebody was going to win, and so the polls had led them in that direction, and then it backfired because people didn't know anything about it. So if Trump looks bad in a poll, there is, I guess, a theoretical idea that it will galvanize support and then make people go out and drove.
Fuck! So in which case we have to say he's winning. So what you're saying is, if we say he's winning the polls, people won't go vote. That's what you're saying, right? You heard it here first, chat. If you vote for Trump, don't vote.
Just do what any upstanding citizen does, which is when you leave the polling station, they ask you how you voted. Just say, I voted for Lord Buckethead, and then.
But we actually have a Lord Buckethead. They don't.
Yeah, that's Captain Potato.
So of course. The actual democratic process is kind of fucked anyway, right? So
yeah, Americans don't vote for their leaders. They ask someone really nicely if they wouldn't mind voting for their leaders.
Do they? Hang on, what? The electoral colleges, right?
It's essentially how the electoral college works. Is that your vote is given? It goes towards trying to sway somebody to make the decision on your behalf. As far as I'm aware, that's my basic version.
That sounds more dumb than our system.
It sounds so unlike democracy. But then again, America is not a democracy, it's a republic. It's the thing they keep forgetting.
Buckethead. Is Landgraf talking about Buckethead the guitarist? Because I was listening to them like literally last week. Let's go Arbiter. We are also not a democracy. What are we, a democratically informed monarchy? Is that where we're going with this, Jafar? What do you mean?
We're a Brexit-free state, right?
I know we're not Europe, but apart from that, I'm a bit lost.
Just to the left of Europe.
We're Europe adjacent. A republic is a democracy, not a direct democracy, says Crotash. Oh god, someone's going to tell me I'm not liberal leaning later. Europe doesn't exclude them from being a democracy. Oh right, yeah. So the point people are making is that democracy is a type of a republic is a type of democracy, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive. Like one is a type of another. Parliamentary representative republic, if you want to split hairs. Yeah, but like, as we've just... I love this. Half the chat are telling you you're wrong, Rob. The other chat is using the same incorrect logic to tell us that England isn't a democracy. Oh, magic players never change. We can strip mine them here if they don't have a push.
If it was simply the popular vote, the California, Texas, New York would decide every president from now to the end of time. That is true, because of the division of people. This is something that the state's had a problem with for donkeys years. This is why, like whether or not they should be federalized was such a huge issue. It's because 90% of the people live in 2% of the country. So if you're like, well, I'm the mayor
chat. Sorry, Rob, to interrupt. Our opponent just floated one black mana to try and kill something, but they let our Thalia resolve. So now they've got a kill spell to kill our Arbiter in response to the Ghost Quarter. They're floating the black matter, but they can't cast anything. And now they got strip mined. FYI, I do believe that this matchup for D&T is relatively favourable because the opponent is playing somewhere between like 8, 12, maybe 14 fetch times to go really ham on the 8 crab. Obviously, Arbiter loves people playing fetches. We aren't fetching either, so like we're not giving away free like real estate to their archive traps. And Thalia is quite good against a lot of their spells too. And the fact we got 3 whips in the sideboard. So yeah, I think this match was relatively favourable, and that was pretty brutal. And they've missed a black sauce here, so we get to feel ruin them again next turn. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyway, sorry. Carry on, Rob.
Yeah. So problem with representational democracy. Yeah. So the part of the argument for the electoral college is that states that have like 9 people in them can actually have an equal say in what happens, because the issue being that, like, what does my vote mean when I can only get 12 of my friends to come and change things that only me and my 12 friends really care about, and it's going to be the same for everybody across the board? You know, like, where's my equality, I guess, is the constant refrain.
But democracy's not about equality, though, is it? Like, fundamentally. Like...
Well, yeah, exactly.
Like, a democracy, by very definition, marginalises people, right?
Yeah, but it's the trouble when you add in...
Oh, I'm a dickhead! Look at this! Speaking of fucking punts, I am listening to Rob, but just like... Fucking hell. I was trying to process what you were actually saying and play Magic, and I've just, for the first time in my life, let someone fuck up my land destruction with an Aboro Palace in the Clouds. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, thanks for the punt, Clear. I appreciate it. Fuck me. That was fucking stupid. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so like by the very way of how a democracy should work,
it's an issue. And when you combine that with the American frontiersmanship attitude of, you know, what's mine is mine, and my rights are my rights, and I'm allowed equality regardless of how much of the population I actually represent. It makes it a problem. You know, they don't want democracy.
Someone cheer up another pun. I was meant to play the Ghost Quarter. Just literally, I can't believe how regularly I'm punting here. I should have gone Ghost Quarter, play the Arbiter Ghost Quarter the island. They couldn't pay. Fucking hell. Yeah.
It's okay.
Someone marked... Algie's trying to mark the punt, but it's been too soon after the last one. There you go, I got it. Thanks, Algie.
You don't need more... You don't need a total majority, you need more than the next biggest candidate. Yeah, that's the thing. Isn't there a thing in... I think it's... Australian system? Where it's like...
Whoever can fight the bear? No, they don't have bears. What are they? Coyotes.
No, they'll pay for that and bounce it.
Yes, they can still pay for it even when it's tapped. Yeah. I had to think real long and hard. Okay, let's get rid of that.
It all goes like votes go in and then they go around, and you have like second and third favourable votes, and it all goes around in like endless circles.
Look, voting is wrong. You heard it here first. PleasantKenobi 2020. Voting is wrong. Why don't we all just start a revolution?
Yeah,
that's it. I've been radicalised.
None of our systems exist in nature, right? And just because we decided that the way that the Romans
Jordan Peterson believes that hierarchies are okay because lobsters? ? It's something like that, isn't it? They just cracked their delta and failed to find because of 2 arbiters. Well, I'm in quoting Jordan Peterson, by the way. I'm doing it mockingly before anyone is not reading me, because I don't think I'm delivering very well, as I also try to play Magic and fail miserably. There we go! 3-2. We had a very bad game against Tron, where I think we just got very unlucky, because I think the matchup was good, and we got smashed by Death Shadow, which we always have been. Not always have been.
Yeah, it's pretty traditional.
I think, again, that was a relatively poor matchup for us. No, sorry, draw, because when you've got all these fucking Skyclave apparitions and shit, I think our Death Shadow matchup isn't that bad. But yeah, Gen Shadow just legitimately just smashed the shit out of us. But I think with the slightly different draws and stuff, we could have better games. Also, we mulled to 6 or 5 against them, got Thoughtseize as well, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we to 5, we've got Thoughtseize.
I think, I'm not saying like we got unlucky, that's why we didn't 5-0. What I'm trying to say is that the deck definitely has the tools to 5-0 if you're A, a better pilot, B, not punting all over the fucking shop, and C, get a bit luckier. Like, the deck just felt like, at no point other than when we drew absolutely abysmally against Tron, did I feel like we didn't have a chance of winning.
We've had games... Nice. We've had games D&T playing Modern where we have not felt like we've had a chance. Like nothing you draw is any good.
That's just 5 hollow ones in play. I'm like, how have they fit 5 in their deck? That's illegal. So yeah, that was actually quite a good league. And I think if you were just like playing back-to-back leagues with this deck and you were getting used to it, you could easily get there with this. This feels good. This feels surprisingly good. I need to play some red white, some green white, and some blue white. I was putting this together for the stream and I was like, oh, maybe I could fit Soul Herder in there. I was like, no, Vit, stop it. Play the good deck and then play the dumb ones another time. We went 3-2, Tharlo Tyrell. We beat a mill player who's new to Modo. We lost to Razitron and Jun Shadow.
Yeah, we beat Rakdos, who scooped in the first.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Our Rakdos opponent was not willing to even play against a Battle Skull. That was pretty fucking crazy. And then what was round 3? What were we against?
That was Tron, Death Shadow, Jund.
Oh, it's some form of burn? Because again, we had another player who, when we got Battle Skull and we had more in hand, they just scooped. What was that? Who was that?
Yeah, it was something else, Rakdos.
No, it wasn't Rakdos. It was something aggro. Oh, it was in Soul Artifact.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
If you want to play Soul Herder, you can play Legacy Esperval. If you want to see me play Legacy Esperval, last week I think it was, my CFB video was Legacy Esperval. The deck was sick. We did 5-0 with that. That was really, really fun. The deck just felt incredibly powerful and able to outgrind even the Oko decks. That's when we all started Baldur's Gate and paid more attention to the conversation. Yeah, exactly. Another league in Mono White. That league was very unusual. Time-wise, it's not wise for me. I don't know where you're from, Tharlo Tyrell, but we are in the UK and it's 10 o'clock already. And I'm going to go hang out with some patrons before going to bed at a reasonable time tonight, because I could go to bed way too late. If you're wanting more of me and my shit, this week we should have some videos, some talking head stuff about rarities and wizards practices. We should have some more modern and hopefully another Lolwot and Legacy with a very weird deck. I don't even know if I can physically rent it. It's so fucking big. Less said about that right now, the better. There'll be another EDH and Chill this week as well. There'll be an EDH Deck Tech, which is filmed, which needs to be edited up, going out as well. And I should hopefully have a Warhammer Wednesday on Wednesday, some Warhammer streaming, and should be at least one more session of Baldur's Gate this week. I kind of want to fit 2 in, but I just don't know if I can fit it in with all the Magic content. I know, shockers, I should make Magic videos, right? So that's been really fun. Thank you for everyone hanging out. Thank you for a relatively respectful and peaceful conversation about all sorts of shit, from D&D to Baldur's Gate through to comic books and other shit. That was good. I will be over on the Discord playing some League and chatting about Warhammer and stuff now. What we're going to do, though, don't everyone go. Let's raid somebody and show them the love. If you are heading off for the night, it's good to get in there and give them some love and give them some follows and see what people are up to. So let's see who is online tonight. Let's go raid Semulin, who is a lovely limited streamer. Everyone, get in the fucking clown car. Also, don't swear until you find out like what their policy is. I think Semulin is a PG stream, so please don't swear in there. However, you can toot your horn, as you can see. The Trafaro's tooting the horn. Thank you, Stim, for the heads up on the no casting as well. Get in the clown car and toot your fucking horn when we get in there, and I'll see you all soon. We'll be back next Monday for some more Legacy or some Modern, and there'll be stuff in the meantime as well. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and like every social media platform. I post a lot, too much. Fucking, what am I doing with my life? Good night, kids.
Another one.